Having reached the hour of 5:30 p.m., I am calling the October 14th, 2025 Modesto City Council meeting to order and ask the city clerk to please call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
Here.
Councilmember Wright.
Here.
Councilmember Gutierrez-Brayton.
Here.
Councilmember Alvarez.
Here.
Councilmember Ricky.
Here.
Vice Mayor Bavaro.
Here.
And Mayor Zwallen.
Here. Will everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation from Pastor Pat Nagel from Redeemer Church. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Would you join me in prayer? Father, just on behalf of everyone here this evening, I just want to start with some gratitude and say thank you for our city. Thank you for our community. Thank you for the leadership that represents us. Thank you that we're able to come together in spaces like this freely and just work towards creating good. And even just thank you for the rain. We just need rain. And just thank you for that. I pray out of just all of the good things that we enjoy and receive, would we be freed up to create more good within our community. And I just pray tonight for wisdom and grace and dignity to abound, and for the things that need to be celebrated with joy, and the things that need to be listened to be heard with respect and dignity and worked towards. I thank you, Lord, that this community comes together to work together. We just pray for more of that. And I pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Does the city clerk have any announcements?
Yes, Mayor. Just a reminder, public comment is 3 minutes. There are speaker cards at the entrance of the chambers. In addition, written general public comment was received and it had been forwarded to the council.
Thank you. Was received. Do any of the council members have any conflicts of interest? Will the city attorney please report out on closed session?
Yes, Mayor. The council met in closed session today and considered 2 items related to anticipated litigation. No reportable action was taken.
All right, thank you. Next on the agenda is acknowledgements and presentations. And the first presentation is a proclamation declaring October 19th through the 25th as Respiratory Care Week. I will read the proclamation. Excuse me. Respiratory Care Week is dedicated to recognizing and celebrating the essential role of respiratory therapists in patient care. These professionals play a critical role in the health and well-being of our community by providing a wide range of services, working to diagnose, treat, and manage patients with breathing and lung disorders. The American Lung Association estimates that 55,852 people in Stanislaus County have been diagnosed with a chronic lung disease. They can manage their symptoms by smoking cessation, avoiding secondhand smoke, eating healthy, and staying active. A respiratory therapist can help every step of the way with assessments, treatments, education, and long-term management. Respiratory therapists are the guardians of every breath, one patient at a time. They pave the way for the future of healthcare, leaving a lasting impact on the lives of those they help and beyond. Now, therefore, I, Sue Zwallen, Mayor, do hereby proclaim October 19th to 25th, 2025 as Respiratory Care Week in the City of Modesto, and urge all residents to learn about the importance of early detection of chronic lung disease, as well as show appreciation for respiratory care practitioners and their essential work. Accepting the proclamation will be Christina Ramirez, Respiratory Care Program Coordinator at Gurnick Academy. Can you please step up? Thank you. Appreciate it.
Good evening, Mayor Zwallen, members of the council, fellow colleagues, and community guests. My name is Christina Ramirez, and I've been a respiratory therapist for 18 years, with the majority of my career spent in the neonatal intensive care unit. I now have the privilege of serving as program director for the respiratory care program at Gurnick Academy of Medical Arts. Alongside our faculty, my fellow colleagues who come from a diverse background within respiratory care, and many of whom are leaders within our healthcare systems here in the community. It's an honor today to have Respiratory Care Week formally recognized, celebrating the vital work of respiratory therapists and the difference they make every single day. Respiratory therapists are experts in the science of art of breathing. They assess, treat, monitor patients experiencing acute trauma with conditions such as asthma, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, pneumonia, and heart failure, to name a few. These are essential members of the emergency team, intensive care units, neonatal and pediatric units, and rehabilitation centers. From the first breath of a premature infant to the final breath of a hospice patient, respiratory therapists are present, offering both skill and compassion. Respiratory Care Weeks give us the opportunity to pause and recognize these professionals who ensure that every breath counts. It also gives us the chance to highlight how their work extends beyond the hospital walls. RTs are clinicians, educators, researchers, and community advocates who teach patients how to manage chronic lung disease, promote smoking cessation, and support public health initiatives aimed at improving air quality and respiratory wellness. The landscape of respiratory care changed dramatically with the onset of COVID-19. The pandemic illuminated the fragility and resilience of our healthcare system, and respiratory therapists were thrust into the spotlight as true frontline experts in mechanical ventilation and critical care. These professionals work tirelessly around the clock, innovating in real time as the world struggled to understand a new and unpredictable virus. They face shortages in equipment, emotional exhaustion, and unimaginable patient volumes, yet their dedication never wavered. COVID-19 not only changed how we deliver respiratory care, it changed how we value it. It inspired advancements in telehealth monitoring, non-invasive ventilation, and simulation-based education for students preparing to enter the field. It also strengthened collaboration efforts among healthcare teams and deepened our collective understanding of the importance of respiratory health in every community. As an educator, I'm incredibly proud of the next generation of respiratory therapists we are training, professionals who embody both scientific expertise and human empathy. They are learning not only to manage ventilators, but to advocate for equitable healthcare access, to innovate with technology, and to lead with compassion at times of crisis. So during this coming Respiratory Care Week, I ask that you take a moment to recognize and thank respiratory therapists in your hospital, clinics, and classrooms. They are professionals whose work goes often unnoticed, but whose impact is felt with every breath we take. Thank you for your time and for helping us celebrate the profession that keeps our community breathing strong.
Thank you very much. Stay, please, if you wouldn't mind staying at the podium. Thank you. Are there any comments from council members at this time? I do not have my, just so that everyone knows, my monitor for council member comments is not here.
The touchscreen.
So it will be more difficult for me to manage council member comments, but I'll do my best. All right, council member Williams.
Thank you and your colleagues for all that you do for helping all the citizens of Modesto, Stanislaus County. I guess I couldn't say it in one phrase, you all are a breath of fresh air. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you. I truly recognize the importance. These are the people that manage our breathing, especially at critical times, and that is the first step to life. So I appreciate you and thank you for being here. Any other comments from council members? Seeing none, thank you for being here this evening, and I will now bring the proclamation down and present it, and a picture will be taken.
Okay.
Did it turn on?
going to take a picture right here. Please do. Sure, right here. Great. Thank you. Do you want to help? If you want to better. Sure. Yeah. Take a picture. Feel free. Okay. Take a picture. All right, next is recognition of our Modesto Junior College Women's Track and Field Team 2025 NorCal Champions and the State Champions, as well, I know, and their head coach, Brian Beeman, who was State Coach of the Year. So I will read the proclamation. All right. This will be a certificate presented to the MJC Women's Track and Field Team 2025 NorCal Champions and State Champions on this day of October 14th, 2025. On behalf of the Modesto City Council, I would like to extend my heartfelt congratulations for being named the 2025 NorCal Champions and the State Champions. Your dedication, perseverance, and team spirit are to be commended. I have a similar certificate presented to Brian Beeman, 2024-2025 California Community College Head Coach of the Year. This is for the entire state of California, correct? Yes, we are a big state. This is incredible for all of you. On behalf of the Modesto City Council, I would like to extend to you my heartfelt congratulations for receiving the Head Coach of the Year award. Inspiring your students to pursue track and field with passion and excellence is commendable. Thank you so much for being here. This evening, accepting will be David Vortman, Dean of the School of Kinesiology, Public Health and Athletic Director, Brian Beeman, Head Coach, Women's Cross Country and Track and Field, and Patrick Betancourt, Vice President of Instruction at Modesto Junior College. So would you like to step up to the podium, and if you want to make a comment, please feel free.
Good evening, Mayor Whalen and members of the Modesto City Council. My name is David Vortman, and I'm the Dean of Kinesiology, Public Health, and Athletic Director at Modesto Junior College. On behalf of MJC and the entire pirate community, I'm honored to recognize the incredible achievement of our 2025 MJC Women's Track and Field Team. They were this year's Big 8 Conference champions, NorCal champions, and our state champions. As you can see from the athletes and coaches that are here, this championship represents not just a moment of athletic triumph, but a reflection of the talent, determination, and character of the student athletes. All of these athletes are our future leaders and community members. And as their athletic director, that brings me so much pride to see them in action. Under leadership of Coach Brian Beeman and Coach Demetrius Snare and his staff, The program demonstrated remarkable depth and resilience throughout the season. These young women balanced rigorous full-time academic loads of over 12 units. Many had full-time jobs, all while competing at the highest level in California community college athletics. Their achievement stands as a testament to the power of teamwork, their personal discipline, and the spirit of MJC Pirates, proving once again that Modesto and the surrounding communities are home to champions both on and off the field. This championship highlights an extraordinary year for MJC athletics. The 24-25 season saw Pirate programs across the board rise to new level of excellence. The MJC athletic program had 20 of its 22 teams make the postseason, and we were ranked number 7 in California and number 2 in Northern California in the prestigious Nadia Cup, which recognizes overall athletic performance among all 106 California community colleges. Over 700 student athletes at MJC collectively achieved a record 3.1 GPA as a group, increased transfer rates to 4-year colleges and universities. Over 40 athletes received an athletic scholarship last year with a value of over $3 million, and continued to serve our community through volunteerism, leadership, and outreach. It's been a banner year for all of us to celebrate. The success of MJC athletics goes beyond trophies. It strengthens our community identity. Our athletes represent the diversity, resilience, and pride of the Central Valley. Game days, track meets, and community events bring families, alumni, and young students together all under the Pirate flag. Over 30,000 fans attended MJC athletic events last year, and it's a source of community and alumni pride. The accomplishments of our teams, our women's team in particular, many of whom of these athletes are first-generation college students, inspires future generations of Modesto and surrounding communities' youth to pursue education, physical fitness, and teamwork as pathways to success. Tonight, we want to thank you, the Modesto City Council, for your ongoing support of education and athletics in our community. Your partnership helps us continue to build opportunities for local students to excel. As we celebrate the 2025 Women's Track and Field State Champions, the success of MJC athletics, we're reminded that every championship, every medal, and every degree earned represents the shared investment of the city and county in its people. Together, we continue to raise our sails towards excellence and to our future. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much for being here this evening. I would like for each of the young women, if they're comfortable saying their name, if not, at least the event or events that you participated in, as well as your major for college. Just go ahead, one by one, just step up and then please.
Julia Pedretti, I am a heptathlete and a thrower.
Thank you.
My name is Ava Torres. I run the 400 and 4x4 and I'm majoring in biology.
My name is Jada Arona. I did the 100, 200, 4x1, and 4x4, and I'm a business major.
My name is Shaylin Roy Williams. I did the 100, 200, 4x1, 4x4, and long jump, and my major is psychology.
My name is Savannah Brown. I'm a hurdler and was on the 4x1, and I major in biology.
My major is child development.
Great. Thank you for acknowledging that.
My name is Stephanie Ibarra. I'm a thrower, so I do shot and hammer, and my major is mechanical engineering.
And my name is Adamari Ron. I'm a kinesiology major, and I'm a distance runner, participated in the 1500 and the 800.
All right, so it sounds like you had all the events covered. Thank you so much for being willing to do that, to participate, as well as talk to us this evening about what events you were involved in your majors. So I hope one day that this entire dais is filled with each of you when you run for public office and share all that learning and strength and force that you have with our community. So thank you so much for being here. I wondered if any council members, I see Councilmember Alvarez has his name up here. Thank you, it's working now.
That was a mistake, but sure.
Oh, okay.
As a fellow MJC alum, I commend you guys for your achievements, and I think that you guys are on the track for literal greatness in the state of California. Coach Snare, good to see you again. I haven't seen you in a while. Dean, congratulations on your leadership, literally conveyed here. Thank you.
All right, Councilmember Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm not going to say too much, but I will say, go girls.
All right.
Wow.
Councilmember Scudia-Brayton.
I think that was the most concise comment Councilmember Williams has ever said. Congratulations. This is not only a success, and it's a palatable one. I feel the excitement, and I celebrate with you your success. But it's a success for education. It's a success for sports and athletes. It's a success for women, and it's a success for our community. So thank you all for representing us. It's just awesome. And I almost tripped over a huge trophy there. I'm hoping that someone could talk about it, and perhaps the mayor is going to invite you to a photo, and I'm hoping that could be in it as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Ricky.
Thanks, Mayor. I agree. We should have a picture with that trophy. But I'm just really proud of this achievement of winning the state championship and winning the NorCal. It's amazing to have something, just us winning a great competition throughout the state. And it just builds pride in our community. And great work, great job, and keep up the good work and keep on representing Modesto.
Yes, thank you again for being here this evening. Having raised some college athletes myself, I understand the blood, sweat, and tears that come along with your achievement. So I recognize that, learn from it, continue to have that drive in every aspect of your life, and you will be so extremely successful and self-fulfilled. So thank you so much again for being here. And I will now bring the certificate down and present it.
Mayor.
Oh, I'm so sorry, David Wright. Your name is right there. There you go.
Thank you, Mayor. Congratulations again from all of us. And also, Dean, we're looking forward to the basketball team. You got a fundraiser this Saturday, which I'll be at, and I'm looking for them to be state champions. So hopefully with the new coaching staff you have, we're looking for some great things on your basketball team.
No pressure, no pressure.
Thank you. So what about, so this goes to the team. So who wants to hold this? Right there. And then we have to be this. And then this is to you. Guys. He's got to be in front with All right. Next is item 3. Unit commendation for an extraordinary field save by Fire Engine 29. And I will read the certificate of commendation. And we have several here, three. All right. A commendation for service presented to Engine 29, Captain Jeremy Albrecht, on this day of October 14th, 2025. On behalf of the Modesto City Council, I would like to express my heartfelt appreciation to you for making a difference in the lives of so many through your faithful service. And I also have the same wording on the certificate for Engine 29 Engineer Paramedic Brian Reidman, as well as Engine 29 Firefighter Shane Stoller. And accepting will be those names that I said, but maybe it looks like Chief, is someone else going to come first, or is everybody going to come? Okay, all right. We have all three, and our Fire Chief, Kevin Wise.
All right, good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council. Great pleasure to be before you this evening to recognize Engine 29's crew. Our job is to serve and protect and save lives, and we, as Fire Chief, I try to recognize those saves that are a little out of the ordinary. And when you hear this story tonight, this is an amazing story of a rescue that took place at our Station 29. And for those of you that don't know, our regional fire department, we serve outside the city limits of Modesto. And actually, Station 29 is located in the community of Knights Ferry. So just a real quick background of our water rescue program, and then I'm going to let Battalion Chief Serpa tell you this amazing story. So some of you may or may not know, we protect most of the waterways in Stanislaus County. So starting at the Tuolumne River in Tuolumne County all the way to West Modesto, the Stanislaus River all the way from Tuolumne County up by Tolic Lake all the way to the San Joaquin River. We protect Woodward Reservoir, Modesto Reservoir, and Turlock Lake with our water rescue program. We have 5 boats that are in our program that are strategically located throughout the county to serve our community. So with that, I'm going to have Battalion Chief Serpa come up here and tell you the story about this rescue that took place this last summer.
All right, welcome.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. May 25th, late in the morning, Engine 29 on Boat 29 was returning from another water rescue. Upon returning to about 150 yards from the station, they were going to conduct some training. While in doing that training, they found a victim that was floating down the river. Springing into action very quickly, all 3 members were able to secure the patient in the boat and quickly return back to Station 29, where they immediately began ALS care. As you all know, ALS care is being given by a paramedic. Within 5 minutes of initiating that ALS care, the patient regained a pulse and started breathing on their own. Other crews arrived, and we actually had to secure another person that had fallen in. And this patient was flown to a local hospital. 3 days later, Engineer Paramedic Reedman was able to visit this patient in the hospital because of the care that he gave, or excuse me, that Engine 29 gave to this patient. He was awake, talking, and had no deficits, which is incredible considering that he was in the water for at least 5+ minutes. So an incredible rescue. I want to thank them for their quick decision making and the level of care that they provided. So again, thank you very much, and Engine 29.
Thank you.
Good evening. Thanks for having us. Thank you for the recognition. There were a lot of things that went right to make this save possible. From, like Chief Serpa said, us already being on the water, returning from another call, put us right there in that location. Us being right behind this fire station, coincidentally, when we found this victim, put us there where we had all of our ALS equipment. So the flows being just right. I mean, I could go on, which really make this special. And all led to the outcome that we got. But all those things being said, you know, none of it matters if you don't have the right crew. So I really want to thank my guys for being professional, being ready to go to action when you're, you know, least expecting it. I mean, that literally just came upon us right at that moment. So without the right guys in place, none of that matters. So it's a testament to them. And it's just one example of what all the fire crews are doing every day in the fire department. So I accept this on behalf of all of them and especially the boat program. But thank you very, very much for the recognition.
You're welcome. Thank you. Would either of you like to make comments? Feel free.
No pressure.
It's up to you.
My name is Brian Riedemann. I'm the paramedic engineer that was on the call at the time. It was just one of those things, right place, right time. We got lucky. Falls back to countless hours of training and running the boat, and we were just very fortunate. I went and saw Mario a couple days later, and he was very thankful. His family was very thankful, and it was just one of those things that you don't get to witness every day. And it was great.
Right, thank you.
Thank you for the recognition.
Sure,
Appreciate
you're
it.
welcome. All right. Would you like to make your comment?
That was an awesome opportunity that we had. We sprung into action, and we just ultimately used teamwork and training that we'd relied on, and we were able to make a fantastic save, and it was just an awesome opportunity to be a part of it.
All right, thank you. Do the council members have any comments at this time? Vice Mayor Bavaro.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, thank you for having a servant's heart and doing what you would say is my job, but it's beyond that. You truly have a calling for this, and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Having participated on several ride-alongs with the fire department, many of them actually in the last 3 years, I have seen personally the difference between basic life support and advanced life support. And it's literally seconds, minutes between the two in saving lives. And the goal, I hope, of this council is someday to be able to have paramedics on every engine, on every truck, on every shift. Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. Councilmember Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. Well said, Vice Mayor. I'm sure the family is thrilled, thankful, and just joyous over the fact that they now have either it's a husband or a father, and someone still has their son. It's incredible what you all were able to do. Thank you for not feeling lazy that day, but knowing that you were on the job to save lives, and you did that. So congratulations, and thank you so much.
All right. Councilmember Scudia Brayton.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for what you say is just your job, and thank you for, as you said, the stars aligned. But you couldn't have done it, and you wouldn't have had the successful outcome had it not been for the valuable training that you have had, and that you guys work so well together. I mean, you guys are Dream Team 29. You guys made it happen, and you saved someone's life, and in so doing, just I'm sure that whole family is just indebted for you forever, as we are. So thank you for what you do. I had the opportunity, along with Councilmember Williams, to walk in your boots just for a little bit. We did training.
8 hours.
And it was just, we completed that training that we did, and we were exhausted. But that is something you do on a daily basis. So I applaud you, thank you, and I'm so grateful for your service. Thank you again.
All right, Councilmember Ricky.
Thanks, Mayor. We just really appreciate your skill. We appreciate your service to the community. I know that the community appreciates like this kind of, when these kind of things happen, but I also want to really echo Councilmember Bavaro's sentiments here that this is exactly why we need paramedics on every engine and at every station and on every shift.
All right, Councilmember Alvarez.
I'll be brief. Just thank you, gentlemen, for your service.
All right, once again, thank you. I just want to acknowledge that we know, and you know better than anyone, that the outcome is not always this way or successful. So even in those times, I appreciate your service, your dedication, helping people and family members through those times also, because it's so important, and it's a time in people's lives that they will remember forever. So I'm so grateful for this outcome and that it turned out like it did, but acknowledge your service every day, regardless of the outcome. So at this time, I'll bring the certificates down and we'll take a picture. That's how we were told.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you for the
Right. So I think I will go right in here because that's where they
Trying to get in there.
And who are this young man?
Oh, that's my son.
All right.
That's my son, Colton.
Come on.
2050.
Chief Court. Very good. Good job. Thanks for being a big support. Our daddy. All right. You're welcome. Oh. Yeah. Okay. You're good. Oh, my goodness.
We don't even need to get a picture.
All right. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Next on the calendar is item 4. Consider accepting the resignation of David Barber from the Citizens Housing and Community Development Committee. Do I have any questions regarding this? Or I see your light on, Councilmember Ricky. Not for you?
Not
Okay.
intentional.
Okay, great. Any comments from the public? Seeing none, any comments from council members? Seeing none, I have a resolution accepting the resignation of David Barber from the Citizens Housing and Community Development Committee. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Councilmember Wright, second by Councilmember Williams. Will the clerk please call the roll for this item?
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Wright.
Aye.
Councilmember Scutia-Brayton.
Aye.
Councilmember Alvarez.
Aye.
Councilmember Ricky.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bavaro.
Aye.
And Mayor Zwellen.
Aye. Motion carries. Next is consider accepting the resignation of Jennifer Oyama Valenzuela from the Entertainment Commission. Any questions from council? Seeing none, comments from the public? Seeing none, comments from council members? Seeing none, I have a resolution accepting the resignation of Jennifer Ann Ayala Valenzuela from the Entertainment Commission. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Scudia-Brayton, second by Councilmember Alvarez. Will the clerk please call the roll for this item?
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Wright?
Aye.
Councilmember Scudia-Brayton?
Aye.
Councilmember Alvarez?
Aye.
Councilmember Ricky?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bavaro?
Aye.
And Mayor Swallen.
Aye. Carries. Yes, that will come up during public comment, which is in just a few minutes. I have lots of blue cards. Thank you. I have your card. Next is item 6. Consider accepting the resignation of Helda Paulas from the Visit Modesto Board of Directors and approving the appointment of Kelly Talent to fill the partial unexpired term ending December 31st, 2025, followed by a full 4-year term from January 1st, 2026 to December 31st, 2029. Do I have any questions from council? Seeing none, comments from the public regarding item 6. Seeing none, comments from the council? Seeing none, a resolution. I have a resolution accepting the resignation of Helda Paulas from the Visit Modesto Board of Directors and approving the appointment of Kelly Talent to fill the partial unexpired term ending December 31st, 2025, followed by a full 4-year term from January 21st, 2026 to December 31st, 2029. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Councilmember Ricky, second by Councilmember Wright. Will the clerk please call the roll for item 6?
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Wright?
Aye.
Councilmember Scudia-Brayton?
Aye.
Councilmember Alvarez?
Aye.
Councilmember Ricky?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bavaro?
Aye.
And Mayor Swallen.
Aye. Carries unanimously. Next, item 7. Consider approving the extension of the current 2-year terms for Bazad Burt Tabrizi, Rodney Cordova, and Chad Hilligus to 4-year terms on the Visit Modesto Board of Directors, retroactive to January 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2026. And for Chris Murphy, Pervez Khan, and Angela Kanyamia, retroactive to January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2027. Any questions from council members? Seeing none, comments from the public on item 7? Seeing none, comments from council members? None at this time. I have a resolution approving the extension of the current 2-year terms for Bazad Burt Tabrizi, Rodney Cordova, and Chad Hilligus to 4-year terms on the Visit Modesto Board of Directors, retroactive to January 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2026. And for Chris Murphy, Pervez Khan, and Angela Kangamia, retroactive to January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2027. Any questions? No, excuse me, that was the resolution. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilmember Williams.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Scudia-Brayton. Will the clerk please call the roll for item 7?
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Wright?
Aye.
Councilmember Scudia-Brayton?
Aye.
Councilmember Alvarez?
Aye.
Councilmember Ricky?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bavaro?
Aye.
And Mayor Swallen.
Aye. Carries unanimously. Item 8, consider approving the appointment of Eric Winchester as financial institution representative and Cynthia Fraze as citizen at large to the Housing Rehabilitation Loan Committee with a 4-year term beginning in November 2025 with a term expiration of December 31st, 2029. Do I have any questions from council? Seeing none, comments from the public regarding item 8? Seeing none, comments from council members? Seeing none, I have a resolution approving the appointment of Eric Winchester as financial institution representative and Cynthia Fraze to the Housing Rehabilitation Loan Committee with a term expiration of December 31st, 2029. Do I have any questions? No questions? Any public comment regarding item 8? Seeing none, comments from council members. I have a motion from Councilmember Alvarez.
Second.
Second from Councilmember Williams. Will the clerk please call the roll for this item?
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Wright?
Aye.
Councilmember Gutierrez-Brayton?
Aye.
Councilmember Alvarez?
Aye.
Councilmember Ricky?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bavaro?
Aye.
And Mayor Zwellen.
Aye. Carries. Item 9, consider approving the reappointment of Hans Hasselman to the City of Modesto Planning Commission with a term expiring December 31st, 2029. Any questions from council? Any comments from the public regarding item 9? Seeing none comments from council members, I have a resolution reappointing Hans Hasselman to the City of Modesto Planning Commission with a term expiring December 31st, 2029. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Councilmember Wright, second by Councilmember Ricky. And will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Wright?
Aye.
Councilmember Gutierrez-Brayton?
Aye.
Councilmember Alvarez?
Aye.
Councilmember Ricky?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bavaro?
Aye.
And Mayor Zwellen.
Aye. Carries. Item 10, consider approving the reappointment of Theodore Mills and the appointment of Annalisa Freitas to the Measure L Citizens Transportation Sales Tax Commission for a 4-year term from October 14th, 2025 to June 30th, 2029. Any questions from council members? Seeing none, comments from the public on this item? Seeing none, comments from council? Seeing none, I have a resolution approving the reappointment of Theodore Mills and the appointment of Annalisa Freitas to the Measure L Citizens Transportation Sales Tax Commission for a 4-year term from October 14th, 2025 to June 30th, 2029. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Councilmember Ricky,
Second.
second by Councilmember Alvarez. Will the clerk please call the roll for item 10?
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Wright?
Aye.
Councilmember Gutierrez-Brayton?
Aye.
Councilmember Alvarez?
Aye.
Councilmember Ricky?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bavaro?
Aye.
And Mayor Zwellen.
Aye. Carries unanimously. Item 11, consider approving the appointment of Magdalena Siordia Tapia, Gernur Jutu, Jacob Lopez, Eden Chin, Carla Enriquez, Lavinia Bansal, Raven Manabat, and Shade Diaz Martinez, and reappointment of Sabrina Tour and Martin Montez to the Modesto Youth Commission for a 2-year term with an expiration date of August 31st, 2027. Any questions from council? Seeing none, comments from the public regarding these appointments? Seeing none, comments from council members? Rosa Gutierrez-Brayton.
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to congratulate all the students who moved forward for this opportunity to sit on the Modesto Youth Commission. This is a phenomenal group of young people that are just going to blow success out of the water. They are just a bright group that are doing good work, and this new group is coming in. There was a handful that have been in this particular commission since early in their high school years and had a desire to continue, but did not make the cut to remain on the commission. To them, I want to thank them immensely for their work on this commission and for their continued success. I know they're going to do immensely well in life. They've already demonstrated that. And again, I want to congratulate the entire group and wish them all well, and in particular those that are moving on in a different direction. Thank you very much.
All right, Councilmember Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. I do share the same sentiments as my colleague, Rosa Gutierrez-Brayton, and we both serve on that appointment committee. And going over the applications and seeing all of the skill sets that these young people have at their age is incredible. There are still some that applied that will still have an opportunity when the other terms are up, so I'm really thankful for that. And then also, Mayor, I'd like to also thank each and every one of the other items that were either they were expired or their new terms coming on to the commissions or to the committees, commissions for all of those particular roles. Thank them for their service, and also thank those who are coming in to conduct new service in those committees that are formed through the Modesto City. So thank you so much for that, Mayor.
All right. Just one brief comment. These are all people that are willing to give their time. They have full-time jobs for the students. I know Sabrina herself is also, she serves on the Modesto City Schools Board of Education. She's the editor of her school newspaper, I believe. She's starting a Creation for Cessation to end tobacco use and as well as vaping in the community. So these are all people that are engaged in our community to make it a better place, and I'm so impressed with each one of them that they give their time to do this on these various committees. So I have a resolution approving the appointment of Magdalena Ciorda Tapia, Gornor Jatu, Jacob Lopez, Eden Chen, Carla Enriquez, Lavanya Bansal Raiden Manabot, and Sadi Diaz Martinez to the City of Modesto Youth Commission for a 2-year term with an expiration date of August 31st, 2027. And a resolution approving the reappointments of Sabrina Tour and Martin Montez to the City of Modesto Youth Commission for a 2-year term with an expiration date of August 31st, 2027. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Motion.
Second. Right.
Motion by Councilmember Wright, second by Councilmember Williams, and will the clerk please call the roll for this item?
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Wright.
Aye.
Councilmember Scutia Brayton.
Aye.
Councilmember Alvarez.
Aye.
Councilmember Ricky.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bavaro.
Aye.
And Mayor Zwallen.
Aye. Carries unanimously. Thank you very much. Next on the agenda is public comment. As noted on the agenda, public comment will only be in person. Zoom will still be available for viewing and wordly translation. Thank you. Thank you all for being here tonight. The City of Modesto Council meetings are a place where everyone is encouraged to listen, share views, and participate in the decision-making process that benefits our community. Your engagement is valuable, and it helps our council and city staff collaborate on finding solutions that enhance the quality of life for the residents of Modesto. To be fair and equitable, every person has the right to speak at this council meeting. However, it is imperative that we foster and maintain a respectful environment for the well-being and safety for everyone present at these proceedings. It is the mayor's responsibility to preserve strict order and decorum at all council meetings. Pursuant to the Charter of the City of Modesto, Article 6, the Mayor's Section 601, Powers and Duties of Mayor. The mayor shall have the authority to preserve order at all council meetings and to remove or cause the removal of any person from any meeting of the council for disorderly conduct, to enforce the rules of the council, and to determine the order of business under the rules of the council. Accordingly, the City Council meeting decorum rules are as follows. Please be respectful of all presenters, council members, staff, and members of the public. Please refrain from clapping other than following a presentation. All speakers are encouraged to state their name and city of residence. All questions must be directed to the mayor. Please do not block the view of others by holding signs up during council meetings. Time limits for public comments is 3 minutes, but may be limited at the discretion of the mayor to manage the business of the council. Speaking over others or interrupting while others have the floor is not permitted. Cell phones should be turned off or shall be set to vibrate during meetings. Thank you for your patience and participation as we work together to address the issues impacting the community. Maintaining order and decorum during the City Council meeting is crucial in the effective governance of Modesto and ensuring the council's decisions are reflective of the community's priorities. Anyone disrupting the council meeting may be asked to leave. Does anyone wish to speak on any item under public comment? This is for items not on the council agenda, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Anyone wishing to address the City Council is asked to follow the rules of decorum, and they are posted at the entrance of the chambers. So I will read the names in the order that I received them. I have 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It looks like I have 18 blue cards at this time. So our first speaker is Ryan Hall. Welcome.
Evening, Ryan Hall. I'm the Communications Director of CalPride. Once again, we all know what we're here for. The mask ordinance that your constituents have time and time again asked for the immediate removal hasn't made it to the agenda. Protests are continuing throughout California. They're happening in Modesto this weekend. This meeting could have been an excellent opportunity to consider lifting or repealing or even amending this ordinance, but the city's continued hand-waving is getting pretty tiring. I could write 100 more comments explaining how this ordinance is unworkable, vague, and discriminatory, but it seems like that has already reached the individuals it needs to reach. What's left then are those still concerned about property damage, liability, and the cost of protests. If I may, a little background. This ordinance relies on California State Penal Code 185, which states that individuals who commit a crime while wearing a mask may be charged with a misdemeanor. This ordinance makes wearing a mask at a protest that crime. In short, this ordinance threatens folks who decide to wear a mask at a protest with a misdemeanor, with minor exceptions for health and religious reasons that must be determined legitimate by the arresting officer or a judge, not the individual. This is perhaps in pursuit of mitigating liability by reducing the direct and indirect costs of escalation, which include property damage. I don't have the time to discuss the misconceptions about property damage and the cost of protests, certainly when we are not a large city, whose perception of protests should be rooted in the realities of peaceful assembly in Modesto, not in statistically misrepresented fear-mongering. If this ordinance is about mitigating liability, how much taxpayer money are you really saving by avoiding property damage if you're going to spend it on the lawsuits that will inevitably arise when people fight back against this ordinance? When people fight those misdemeanor charges or when other organizations sue the city of Modesto, like the ACLU has threatened, those lawsuits aren't cheap, especially when you lose them. Even if certain charges get dropped, you've got to pay someone to process something somewhere. As a Modesto resident, I'm not sure if I want my taxpayer dollars going towards enforcing and defending an unworkable, redundant, and unconstitutional ordinance that will inevitably die in a courtroom. People have been coming to these meetings to defend our rights for months. I am lucky to say that I get paid to do this work beside them. I get paid to do this because my employer knows the worth of his dollar, but I wonder if you guys know yours.
Thank you. Tina Perez, Tateo.
Hi, good evening, Mayor and City Council. My name is Betty Santos, and I'm a lifelong resident here in Modesto, California. I'm up here just to give you an update of our lowrider project that's going on with the students at Modesto High. We are entering our third week this week, and I have to say it's been a great experience so far. I had retired 5 months ago from the field of education. Now I'm back into volunteering in the field of education again, and it's been quite an experience working with the students. However, I'm working with myself, Tina Tateo, and then Jerry Thompson as well. We have another team leader, Mingo Perez, who's leading the first phase of converting the police car, into a lowrider. So right now what we're doing is they've carved out the particle board, and so today the students were able to put an air tank to secure it onto the particle board. And so tomorrow, the next phase is to put on the pumps that operate the airbags that go up and down. And so what's great about it is that Mingo Perez is leading the charge, and he is explaining to the students this is what this piece of equipment is doing, and he's actually letting them secure the hardware onto the particle board to let them know, that this is what you're going to do. And so they take direction from him, and that's what they do. And you should see the expressions on their faces once they complete something with their hands. And it's amazing to see that being done. So anyhow, the next thing is hopefully we'll get to the front end sometime this week, take that down and secure, the airbags, and then just go from there. So far, it's been a great experience. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Good evening, Mayor and Council. It's good to see you again. It's been a while for me. 2 years ago, I don't know if you remember, but actually October of 2023, AB 436 was lifted statewide, along with here in the city of Modesto. After 33 years, we lifted the ban on cruising. But ever since then, like Betty was saying, Betty, I, and Jerry have been very, very busy. And I have to say, this police car project, even though we're in it, 3 weeks, it's just been amazing. These young adults, to see them so excited, and they just listen to everything that Mingo says. And whatever we need them to do, they're hands-on. They like getting their hands dirty. And it's too bad that our class only lasts 45 minutes, because we just get started and then we got to go. Tomorrow is going to be very, very exciting for them. We're actually going to be on Channel 13 News. So they're very excited. It'll be their first time on television. And so we just kind of been, oh, my time's up already. Sorry, Mayor.
That's all right.
Sorry, Mayor.
Time's up.
Okay. So anyways, just to reiterate, we're excited. We're moving forward. And we just want to thank all our sponsors that are involved. Okay.
Thank you.
So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. All right. Lucas?
Hello, my name's Lucas. I just wanted to thank you guys, council and mayor, for your guys' hard and diligent work that you guys do for the city. I have some valid concerns that are traffic-wise. I spoke to Brandon Gillespie about some solutions that we can do. My number one solution was this afternoon on Stanford, someone was doing excess speed, so my solution to that was to adopt some speed cameras throughout Modesto. But then he said, no, we can't do that because of state law. So what I'll be doing on your guys' behalf is calling Juan Alanise's office this week to explain what's going on and how we can revoke that law. And then another thing was I had some proposals for you this evening for some red light cameras that have not been adopted yet, but will be soon. My proposed locations would be Morris and McHenry. That's a very dangerous intersection on McHenry. And then I saw in the past that, I don't know if it's still a problem because I'm not there, but over on Bluegum and Carpenter, that is a very frequent runaway for traffic. A lot of people blow through the red lights there. And then Kansas and Bluegum, is Kansas and Bluegum still on the agenda for red light cameras?
I'd have to check the list, so.
Can you check for me, please?
Sure.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Next is Danielle Mogart.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council members. My name is Danielle Morgar. I'm from the Office of Assemblyman Juan Alanise, here to provide a legislative update. I'm happy to report that the governor did sign 2 more of Assemblyman Alanise's bills. The first one was AB 16, which is the ballot counting efficiency. This will require county election officials to begin processing vote-by-mail ballots as soon as they are received. This common sense change means ballots will be ready to count on Election Day, cutting down delays and giving voters faster results that they can trust. We also had AB 310, which is the Nevaeh's Law Cleanup Bill. This will require all private youth sport organizations to have a written emergency response plan to regularly test their AEDs and for their coaches to be CPR and AED certified. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is George Edgman.
Hello, guys.
Hello.
I'm here on a relation to a human problem that
I think should be addressed to the city. You know, we're all trying to continue to keep us in housing and stuff like that with the homeless and all that's going on. Well, me and my lady have been homeless in our past, and then we've actually gotten this place to live. And during this time period, she's also found out that she's got cancer. And so, you know, she doesn't get out very much. She doesn't do very much anymore. But her daughter was evicted from, or our daughter, I should say, was evicted from her place next door to her, right? And in lieu of that, they've been hassling us ever since they did that. My daughter can't come visit us. She's banned from the property, stuff like that, which, you know, that's her mother's dying wish, is to be able to be around her daughter. And, you know, they struggle and they say that, you know, they don't want the homeless out there that much. But it's like this place where I'm located at, I've done nothing but struggle in the last 7 years to stay there through the lies, discontent, just hearsay, nothing on factual record that's went through. And again, today I was given a 60-day notice to vacate my premises because of my daughter coming to visit her mom. You know, under the legality of it, I can understand, okay, they can restrict her from the property, but under the fact of a human, you know, I mean, what was that if that was your daughter? Would you turn her away if she needed a shower? Would you turn her away if she was hungry? You know, it makes it kind of hard on a parent to do that. But yet, this is what our tax dollars are going for, is to make another person homeless over something simple like that. You know, I really don't think it's right, but, you know, who am I? I'm just a little guy trying to stay, you know, keep my family alive. You know, we're not trying to be homeless. We're not trying to be back out there. My lady's health won't admit us to be back out there. She's going to end up in the hospital. She has been diagnosed, like I said, with cancer since we moved into a place and everything. And it just, you know, it's just kind of hard. I would like to see if there's something to be done about that, you know. It's really stressful. You know, I have to deal with that on a daily basis. Now, what am I going to do with my family? Where am I going to take them? What am I going to do with them? You know, and I'm just one person. I can't do it. But there's things that, I mean, there's many things that I could go into detail of why this has happened and how long it's been going on. But I can't really. I don't only have 3 minutes. So, you know, but I just wanted to address that and get it taken care of.
All right, thank you. If you can, Scotty, if you could give contact information or something so that he has some resource. All right, thank you. All right. Next is Cameron Perez.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Alrighty. So, my name is Cameron Perez. I'm a resident doctor employed by the Valley Consortium for Medical Education, working at the Paradise Clinic that's run by Golden Valley Health Centers currently. Golden Valley plays a significant role in the Valley Consortium. Our program's incoming CEO is a Golden Valley executive, and other Golden Valley executives sit on the board of our program. As doctors, we are not typically the activist types. We care about helping others and working with patients. And in our program, we care about care for some of the most vulnerable patients in Modesto. When multiple doctors are coming to a city council meeting with concerns about safe scheduling and its risks to patient care, it's because something is wrong. We have tried to work collaboratively to resolve these problems, but we're here bringing our concerns to City Council because our program has refused to meaningfully address our concerns. After Golden Valley took over for the county at the Paradise Clinic, where we work, the number of residents in our program was cut. These cuts were followed by new 24-hour shifts and significant decrease in our time to recover between day and night shifts. The result has been sleep deprivation for family medicine residents. The cut in our programs are not finished. If these cuts are not resolved or reversed, we will lose another 4 resident doctors next July, going down to 24 resident doctors instead of what we were previously at was 36. We have worked proactively to offer solutions to this problem, bargaining for safe scheduling, provisions in our contract with VCME. Unfortunately, VCME's board, which includes Golden Valley executives, has refused to come to any compromise whatsoever on safe scheduling. At our last bargaining session, not a single member of the board was even present to speak with us. There is no reason why doctors in Modesto should be caring for patients while facing sleep deprivation. These problems can be solved if VCME, which includes Golden Valley, actually works with us to implement safe scheduling. Thank you.
You're welcome. Next is Teresa Gamboa.
Good evening, Mayors Wallen, Council, City Managers, City Attorney, staff, City Clerk, members of the public. My name is Teresa Gamboa, and I'm coming to you tonight as a Neighborhood Watch Coordinator. I want everyone in the community to be safe, always. Everyone wants to feel safe in their homes, at their parks, when they're in town, and in their communities. It just doesn't make sense to allow protesters to wear masks while in a public place. Other than avoiding being identified, there is no reason for a person to wear a mask while publicly protesting. If a person is brave enough to be in a public place protesting, they should be brave enough to show themselves. It does make sense to allow our law enforcement officers to wear masks if they choose to do so. They have families to keep safe, as well as the community. I support keeping the mask mandate in place. Most of the people I have spoken to about this in the community support keeping it in place. If necessary, amend it so that it's not vague, but please keep it in place. Thank you.
You're welcome. Next is Juan Tillis.
What's up, y'all? Mayor, thank you. Council. It seems like everybody and their mom is having an event, but I have two events to share with you guys for the rest of this month. First event, we have the Future Starts With Us Youth Summit. As community champions, I want you guys to help us. We have a few spots left for this youth summit, but really this youth summit is really to plant a seed. As a little bit of background, Valley Improvement Projects has worked with two different youth groups. One in the community of Grayson, and also Riverbank High School. We work with their after-school program to host that program there. And with the two communities, we put them together, hired them as interns, and we have collectively created this event. 3 topics that they identified were mental health, adult readiness, and leadership and advocacy. So throughout the day that we'll be spending with youth, those are the 3 topics that we'll be talking about. We have panel discussions, we have keynotes. The Mayor of Riverbank is going to be giving a keynote, as well as a MJC youth leader. We have Sabrina Tor giving a panel discussion about, what it is like about, during high school, after high school, and she's the youngest executive director of an organization, founder of a nonprofit organization. So it should be great. There's free food, $500 in raffles, so share it out. The second event that I'll be sharing with you is a collective of folks that are all innovators. So we have, earlier this summer, I got the chance of joining the Google Developer Group for Modesto. And innovation, technology, just being able to learn and network and innovate around these folks was amazing. So I joined them, and they're hosting their DevFest. The vision for this event is really to become the tech conference of the year for the Central Valley. And I think that's key, it's important. And we have Stanislaus Office of Education, we have UDA, Bay Valley Tech, Savannah Williams, key leader, Jeremiah's daughter. So we're bringing a lot of folks in, and we're trying to make this a smashing success for the Valley. And if we don't get on that train, it's going to leave without us. And so I want to see the Central Valley thrive, and as well as Modesto. So please use your networks, be a champion, and share those events. Thank you. Appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Celia Garcia Perez.
Good evening, Council. My name is Celia Garcia Perez, and I am a Modesto resident. Today, the day after Indigenous Peoples Day, I am here to urge City Manager Joseph Lopez to immediately agendize Modesto Municipal Code 4-2302, subsection 13, for discussion and a vote. Per the Community Police Review Board's 7-1 recommendation on September 17th. It's almost been a month. 4 months ago, peaceful protesters, vulnerable transition-aged youth, and people of color were unjustly arrested and detained under this very ordinance. It's unconstitutional, it's discriminatory, and it's a clear violation of our First Amendment rights. The ACLU, multiple attorneys, and your own advisory board have made it clear. If the city refuses to act, we are headed toward a lawsuit, one the city will lose. Are we really prepared to spend hundreds of thousands of taxpayer dollars to defend the right to repress speech? As a local taxpayer, I do not support that, and I am certain I am not alone. Modesto is facing a housing crisis. We are losing one of 2 shelters that provide emergency and longer-term housing to residents in need. Public services are underfunded. Yet this council just approved $500,000 for a new armored police vehicle. Where is this money coming from? And more importantly, what values are guiding these decisions? What principle are we standing on by refusing to act in good faith and per the protocol that you established? Let's be clear. There is already a state law, Penal Code 185, that prohibits masking while committing a crime. This ordinance goes further. It criminalizes people for wearing masks while lawfully assembling. That is why it's unconstitutional and why it must be repealed. For 4 months, we've come here in good faith, asking you to act. You've listened silently. Now we ask, where do you stand? Why do you refuse to have a dialogue with us? What's stopping you from following the review board's recommendations? Are we dragging this out just to justify more arrests of peaceful protesters October 18th? That's this Saturday. And what is the benefit of signing up for an unnecessary legal battle? The community knows what the right thing is. The time to act is now. Vote to repeal Section 4-2302, Subsection 13. Do your job and do right by Modesto. We deserve better, and we can move forward together instead of as legal adversaries. Thank you.
Welcome. Next is Julianne Phillips. Julianne, welcome.
Thank you, Mayors Wallen, members of the council. My name is Julianne Phillips, and I wanted to introduce myself as the new district representative for Senator Maria Alvarado Gill. I'll be covering agriculture, natural resources, business, and local government in Stanislaus County and over to the west side. A little bit of background for myself. For the past 12 years, I've been working in water policy and agriculture in the greater San Joaquin Valley in both the public and the private sector. So it's really nice to be back home and working with folks in my community. And just, if you would entertain me, I would like to provide just a short legislative update, and then I'll get back to the business of the evening. So even though the legislature is in recess, the senator is remaining engaged legislatively and has been urging her colleagues in the Senate who voted unanimously in favor of AB 1309, which would have provided parity in pay for CAL FIRE employees on par with that of cities and counties within the state, throughout the state, and she's been imploring them to override the governor's veto of AB 1309. In her recent press release, the senator stated that firefighters deserve better, and so do Californians. I urge my colleagues in the Assembly and the Senate to override this disgraceful veto and honor our brave men and women on the front lines with pay that matches their commitment to protecting California families. As you know, fire protection is a significant issue in SD4 because we've had 2 major wildfires within the district. The senator's also been very active within the district throughout the recess. We just held a meet and greet in Hilmar last week, and we'll be hosting mobile office hours throughout the district this month. I look forward to working with you and your staff. If you have any questions, if you need my contact information, I'll be available in the back. If there are no further comments, thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you. Next is Brandon Finley. Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, and staff. My name is Brandon Finley, local business operator, born and raised here in Modesto. I'd like to just extend my support to the council and to the mayor. I do not think that we should repeal the mask mandate at this point. It could be open for discussion. I have no problem with that. But just a little synopsis of Modesto life. I mean, I work 7 days a week. We have a very demanding lifestyle in Modesto. Life can be pretty difficult in this small community. You know, I have to mitigate for my work, you know, property crimes, you know, vandalism, damage, you know, the rampant vagrancy and stuff. That's very demanding. At this point, I don't feel we need any more concessions for anybody, you know, in any other groups or individuals. As a Modestan, you know, we just want a peaceful life and just be able to everybody live in peace. And I have no problem with anybody protesting or anything like that. But maybe find, you know, maybe at best find some common ground. Thank you.
You're welcome. Next is Harlan Diven. Oops. Welcome.
Hey, thank you. Mayor, Council, I have 2 issues to talk about tonight, so I'm going to move quickly. First, I want to thank City Council and its current commitment for serving the most vulnerable members of the community despite challenges in the current climate. There are at least 2,000 unhoused residents of Stanislaus County, and funding for the programs that support the safety and well-being are under attack. We need your help, and you are showing up. Conversions like the El Capitan, Jenny's Place, and Kansas House are meaningful investments in the city and all of its residents. I also understand there are steps being taken to revive the recently shuttered Downtown Streets program. As you know, the ACES program through the Salvation Army provides 180 shelter beds to unhoused residents of Stanislaus County as one of the most important resources for struggling neighbors in our community. I have spoken with a number of you regarding concerns over the loss of funding at ACES and the necessity to backfill those dollars to stave off an impending shutdown. I have been assured that the city is committed to taking action to shore up ACES or as an alternative shelter program. I make 3 requests. 1, that the shelter be open to all unhoused individuals, including transgender individuals in their correct dorms according to their gender identity. 2, that the shelter not be designated as emergency only. People need shelter. 3, that the shelter continue harm reduction philosophies rather than taking a hard line against those who are in the greatest need of assistance. Thank you again for your commitment and dedication to the unhoused residents of our community. As the county seat, we have a responsibility that we must take on here. And we see you stepping up to assist the community in real and meaningful ways. Thank you. Filling the funding gap at ACES is an unforeseen, possibly ongoing financial commitment. City dollars must stretch far. On that note, it's important to talk about the mask ordinance. The mask ordinance is simply not going to survive a lawsuit. It is contrary to the First Amendment. It is unadvisable to take this case before a judge. A lawsuit will be expensive, lengthy, and again, a losing and embarrassing proposition for the city. The city is in danger of trying to prove to a California court that this mask ordinance, one of the only municipal ordinances of its kind in California, does not run afoul of protected rights. That is wrong. This is not a question of the will of the majority. The Bill of Rights, which includes the First Amendment, is a carve-out from the usual protections and practices of majority rule. These rights are unalienable and were included specifically to protect against government overreach, even with the best of intentions. I understand the intention here is to support law enforcement and enforce law and order, but the city does so in the face of real, sustained, and proper pushback from concerned citizens. I'm worried that a narrative is developing here, one that says the city held the line for the ordinance, but that it was dragged into an expensive court battle and forced to defend itself against special interests. That is not the truth, and that is not what is happening here. Thank you.
You're welcome. Sunny Singh. Welcome.
Mayor Zalin, members of the council. Good evening. My name is Sunny Singh. I'm a resident doctor at the Valley Consortium of Medical Education, and I'm currently doing outpatient care at Golden Valley Health Center's Paradise Clinic. A little over a year ago, Golden Valley took over 2 clinics from the county, including the clinic where resident doctors like myself work. Following this transition, VCME, of which Golden Valley is a part, began cutting the number of doctors in this community. By next July, our program will have gone from 36 doctors to 24. At a time when our community already faces physician shortages, this reduction directly impacts both patient access and the future physician workforce of Modesto. These cuts have caused residents like myself to face significant increases in our hours while we continue to be paid significantly less than our neighboring residency programs. Us residents are facing more 24-hour shifts and often work more than 80 hours a week. We are facing sleep deprivation and challenges to our mental health as a result. We are deeply concerned about the risks of sleep deprivation that is going to manifest to our patient care as well as our own well-being. Through our union, the Committee of Interns and Residents, we have been bargaining with VCME since April for a contract that addresses our concerns with overwork. We proposed an end to 24-hour shifts. We are proposing sufficient recovery time between day and night shifts and sufficient time with our patients so that we can provide quality care. Unfortunately, VCME has refused to agree to a single provision addressing these scheduling concerns. Modesto needs more doctors, not fewer. The cuts to our program following Golden Valley's takeover of county clinics are making it harder for us to retain physicians in this community. This is not just about resident physicians, it's about protecting the health of residents in Modesto and ensuring that patients have access to the doctors they need today and in the future. And today, I brought with me a few of the residents in our area. They're on the back. We even have a doctor here whose birthday it is today, and she chose to come here because of how passionately we feel about this issue. So please, as members that serve the community, help us to serve you so we can continue keeping doctors in our community. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, and happy birthday. Amandeep Sangira? Welcome.
Hello, Mayor and City Council. My name is Amadou Singera. I'm a resident doctor employed by the Valley Consortium for Medical Education, of which Golden Valley Centers is a member. We work at Golden Valley Paradise Clinic, where we care for some of the most vulnerable and chronically ill patients in Modesto. I and my colleagues are here at City Council to share our concerns with you about safe scheduling and patient care in our program. We have repeatedly attempted to resolve these problems internally, proposing safe scheduling measures in our union contract. Management has done nothing to address our concerns, so we're raising them here because they impact patients in Modesto. 2 years ago, family medicine residents in our program had sufficient time to recover when we switched between days and nights. Residents were also not being scheduled for 24-hour shifts. That changed when the number of residents in our program was reduced, cuts that followed Golden Valley taking over the Paradise Clinic from Stanislaus County. Since then, family medicine residents have faced 24-hour shifts and insufficient recovery time between day and night shifts, causing sleep deprivation and creating risk to patient care. With fewer residents available when someone calls out sick, we've been pressured not to call out, and our program wants to cut the number of sick days in our contract. In some cases, we have worked more than 80 hours in a week. We filed complaints with the national accreditation body overseeing residency programs, but we have no idea what's happened with those complaints. and our concerns remain unaddressed. These cuts are only going to get worse next July when the size of our program is reduced by another 4 resident doctors. This is compounded by the fact that VCME pays significantly less than neighboring residency programs, making it even harder to attract incoming resident doctors. Modesto deserves more doctors, not fewer. So I was born and raised here, and my goal has always been to be a resident here, a physician here. And I really want more physicians here, as I've seen the limited amount of physicians that we have. So please, thank you.
You're welcome. Next is Michael Wood. Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. So I'd like to speak in support of the face mask ban for protesting. I understand that it is a right to protest as it's in our First Amendment, but I also believe that the face mask ban, it encourages people that when they're protesting to be more accountable, and it helps our police department also to do their job. While there is a First Amendment right, I don't think that it includes the right to be anonymous when you're protesting. So if you believe in what you're promoting, you should have no problem being visible as that. So I would encourage the City Council to keep the face ban ordinance in effect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, and I'm a resident of Modesto.
All right, thank you. Next is Anne Marie.
Good evening, City Council. My name is Anne Marie. I am a concerned citizen living here in Modesto. It has been 4 months since June 14th, where 6 community members who were peacefully protesting were arrested, 5 of whom were arrested under Municipal Code 4.23-02, subsection 13, specifically that prohibits covering your face at protests with exceptions for medical or religious reasons. This protest was against Immigration and Customs Enforcement, who has been going into our communities and snatching up community members with no due process and with threats of violence. The people who were arrested in Modesto were arrested the exact same way, with no verbal warning, no due process, snatched off the streets by cops who were masked, out of uniform, and armed with riot gear, and taken into unmarked vehicles. There is video and photographic evidence to support this. These community members reported being disrespected and even injured. One community member had his finger broken. They were held in detention for nearly 12 hours with no food and no reason given for their arrest, nor any information given about when they would be released. For nearly 4 months, community members have been coming to City Council meetings and Community Police Review Board meetings to demand that this municipal code be put on the City Council agenda and a motion be made to fully repeal this municipal code. Several human rights lawyers, including lawyers from the ACLU, the First Amendment Coalition, they've assessed this municipal code and to be unconstitutional. Several letters have been sent from organizations like the ACLU, the FAC, the Unitarian Church here in Modesto, and the NAACP supporting the repeal of this ordinance. The CPRB has officially recommended to the city manager to move to repeal this ordinance. The ACLU has threatened Modesto City Council with litigation if they do not put this municipal code on the City Council agenda by November 4th. There is already a penal code in place in the state of California that outlaws wearing a mask while committing a crime, rendering the mask ordinance unnecessary from a safety standpoint. There's a multitude of evidence to prove this code is unconstitutional and will not hold up in a court of law. And after all this, the City Council refuses to listen. You have stalled for months, saying you needed a recommendation from the CPRB, which was promptly rejected, saying you needed more community input via a survey, which only has 2 questions about the municipal code with no context given for it being about why it was brought to your attention in the first place. Do our voices not matter when they're not voices you agree with? We have seen how the City Council has aligned themselves with the police. We have done our due diligence, and regardless of what we have said, the municipal code is still unconstitutional. The answer is clear. Put this municipal code on the agenda, repeal the unconstitutional and unnecessary code, and if you want to die on this hill, so be it, but the litigation process will cost you thousands of taxpayer dollars that would be better spent elsewhere. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Steve.
Give me a second, if you would. You know, I have to say, it's almost comical, but it's actually really depressing to watch the difference. Watching you guys do your "I'm paying attention" pose, yeah. When the doctors come and talk about their doctor problems, it does sound like they have a pretty good point. But I just find it very disheartening to watch how little you guys give a damn, right? Oh, that's not distracting. So Shohei just got an RBI. Sorry about that, Brewers fans. How in the world, Sue, do you expect any of us to take you seriously? I'm looking at a letter that Brandon wrote to you after his boys broke my finger. And part of it, he talks about me, and my mama would be mad because he can't even spell my name right. Stephen was chosen by my parents because he was the first martyr for Christ in the Bible. Definitely not my motivation in wanting to have my finger broken by the cops or anything like that. But he says, God, you guys really make my stomach sick, I swear to God. You have no idea how hard it is to come back up here over and over again. It is also worth noting that during one of these arrests, Stephen Allen, an individual known for frequently disruptive behavior during public comment at council meetings, attempted to impede a patrol vehicle from leaving with an arrestee. He was arrested and booked into jail for delaying/interfering with a police officer. All patent lies, as we all know. I have shared with you folks in front of me the letter from the DA saying that there was no evidence of a crime whatsoever, and my charges were dropped for lack of corpus. This was his letter to you, showing how biased you all are. You want to talk about decorum? Let's talk about the times that Nick and Eric have committed defamation of my character from their bully pulpits. The time that Nick assaulted and threatened me in front of you, Sue, and Brandon. No one gives a damn. It's shameful. I am aghast at Eric's words in the last not in the last meeting, but in a recent meeting. He said, anybody can call themselves Latino with 2%, right? But if authentic Latino, authentic Chicano, authentic Mexican American is a whole different thing. I don't have to explain to you why you are not fit to sit on this council if that's the way you talk, if that's the way you think. It's disgusting. And I do not appreciate the way you guys have pitted other groups against certain groups. And you know what? I saw their graffiti event, and it was really cool. And I like it. And I resent the fact that you are trying to make us the bad guys so that they can be the good guys. You're supposed to be here representing us. And talk about safety. Raise your hand if you would love to have violent fascist groups, like, for example, the Proud Boys, taking over this entire room and even encircling me outside of City Hall and then proceeding to circulate my photograph among Proud Boy circles. You want to talk about safety? You guys don't give a goddamn about safety, and you keep on making it obvious over and over and over again. And I don't know anything about being an authentic Latino, Eric, but I know a lot about being an authentic human being, and I'm not looking at a damn one right now.
All right, Anthony Drobnik.
Hello, my name is Anthony Drobnik, and I'm a lifelong resident of Modesto, and I'm here this evening because I love Modesto. Yet, it's hard to reconcile my immense civic pride with the shameful lack of governance I see before me here this evening. We've been asking for months, urging this council and the city manager to agendize, discuss, and repeal this unconstitutional mask ordinance. The ACLU, the First Amendment Coalition, Modesto's Community Police Review Board, and your constituents have been asking you for 4 months. I understand that questions about this mask ordinance will be added to this year's community survey. And while gathering community input is valuable, there are no possible findings from this or any survey that can resolve the underlying unconstitutionality of this ordinance. Let me say that again because I'm not convinced you listen to your constituents. There are no possible findings from this or any survey that can resolve the underlying unconstitutionality of this ordinance. The inclusion of the mask ordinance question on this survey is not only pointless, it is actively damaging because it normalizes the idea that our fundamental freedoms are subject to public opinion. Our rights are not up for debate. Thus, using this survey to justify your continued inaction on this pressing matter would be a gross dereliction of duty. Now, I've shared before in this chamber that I teach American government and economics. And it's clear this council would fail even a basic test in the First Amendment. But let's see if we can't help you get your econ grade up, huh? The ACLU has already signaled willingness to sue the city over this matter. When, not if, but when our city loses that lawsuit, the money from that is going to come directly from the budgets that fund our other priorities. That's money that's not going to fill potholes. It's not going to fill the paychecks of city staff. It's not going to support our parks. It's not going to support our unhoused neighbors. You are imposing a voluntary, self-inflicted budget cut with no public benefit. By vainly clinging to this flawed status quo, you are risking funds that our community desperately needs to see allocated elsewhere. It's clear that you don't love this city enough to do the right thing, but maybe you'll love money enough to stop standing in the way of justice. Agendize and repeal this awful ordinance. And that's all I really had to say, but since you don't seem to respect our time these last 4 months, I think I'll just hang out here for another 30 seconds or so. Take care.
Thank you. Next is Avenel Tomlinson.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm Avenel Tomlinson. I'm here on George Floyd's birthday to remind you all that your mask ban is unconstitutional and largely racist. Need I remind you that the only people arrested on the 14th of June 2025 were people of color? Oh, sure, the charges were dropped, but not the ban. You want the mask ban so you are able to profile people more easily and nothing more. You're denying people their rights to privacy and free speech, all so that you can continue to assure that you're a growing police state and keep people in fear. The city is defending this ban while the ACLU is preparing to sue to get it recalled. You claim that you can't afford to maintain the unhoused shelter at 9th and D, yet you're ready to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to fight for fascism in court. Please stop the craziness. Get your priorities in order. Mr. Bavaro, if you could pretend to pay attention to the citizens of this state, this city, it would be really helpful. End the ban, end it now. And also, I need an umbrella more on sunny days than in the rain. This is my dark tan. Remove that piece of short-sighted legislation as well. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Is there anyone else wishing to come forward to speak under public comment? All right.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, City Council members, Mr. Bavaro. I'm not here to yell or raise my voice, so I would ask the same respect that everyone else is given from you, but if you choose to ignore me, so be it. I think my colleagues and other people from this community have said more than I need to repeat. I've heard concerns from the opposite side of the aisle concerning the mask ban. I understand that local law enforcement are no longer required to wear masks, but I also would like to remind the public, as well as the council, that police officers are public servants. They're employees of the public. That is a position that they have chosen to put themselves in. And I admire anybody willing to put their safety on the line. I do it for my friends. I do it when we're out at protests. I also have to do it for myself, which is why I wear a mask at protests. The First Amendment allows me the right to express myself however I would like. one of the most founding principles of this country. I am not entitled to privacy outside the privacy of my own domicile, my own home. I know a lot of us might be scrolling through YouTube and see these First Amendment auditor guys trying to push buttons and be in places and wear masks and do things like that in public buildings. And lo and behold, we've seen time and time again, cities are sued and they lose. Now, the ACLU is threatening a lawsuit, the NAACP, so on and so forth. You've heard it all here tonight. I was one of the ones arrested. It affected my life a great deal. I don't want to sue you. I don't want to take money away from a community that needs it desperately anywhere else. I don't want to line my own pockets with money that shouldn't be there when there's shelters and people in the streets that are in vulnerable positions, and it could go towards them, when it could go towards putting money towards getting these doctors some more help. I do not want that. We can sue you, and we could win. We will win if it becomes to that. That's not what I want. Do the right thing. Not just for myself or for the other people that were involved, but for the entirety of the community. You each have a conscience, a family, a heart. I'm very, very firm in believing that every human being is capable of empathy if they choose to. And respect, Mr. Bavaro. Thank you for your time here tonight. Thank you for hearing me out. Please, do the right thing. You've had this up for debate for a very long time, considerable amount of time. Thank you, and I hope that this may be the last time I have to come up here and talk about this with you guys.
Thank you. All right. Anyone else under public comment?
Good evening.
Good evening.
All of you. Thank you for your time. My name's Diana Brazil. I'm representing Cenis Class Indivisible tonight. Again, I'm here about the ban on the mask. This rule chills free speech. I think you all know that. It's already led to several arrests. We've heard from people tonight that have talked about how their lives have been affected by this. Civil liberties groups such as ACLU saying it's likely is unconstitutional. It will go to court. That will be expensive. You need to weigh that. We're requesting you repeal or amend the mask ban for the next available agenda. We need policy to protect us, the people. I am going to the protest on Saturday. I don't think we're quite there yet where I feel like I have to wear a mask because I may be targeted, but I think we are very close. Maybe not this time, but the next time we have a protest. I may feel like I need to wear a mask for my safety. This is very serious. Please contemplate it. Please don't brush it off. Please, we're begging you, take it seriously. Thank you so much for your time, all of you. We respect you. We respect what you do. We know it is not easy. Thank you for everything you do.
You're welcome. Thank you. Any other comment?
Good evening, Council. My name is Magnifico, the Mind Reader, and I reside on the dwarf planet of Ceres. I have come back by popular demand to read someone else's alleged thoughts. Oh, Lord of alleged thoughts, bring me the one with the shiny badge. Good evening, Council. I am Police Chief Gillespie, allegedly. First of all, I want to be very clear and reiterate what I said at the last Civilian Police Review Board meeting about the mask ordinance. This time speaking a little more truthfully than the last time. First of all, I did say at the last meeting that I would not have supported the creation of the CPRB had I known it would be used as a watchdog for advocacy groups. No, it should be my lapdog, loyal and never stepping out of line, the thin blue line. You see, if the CPRB were to become a watchdog group with actual teeth, my department wouldn't be able to continue operating indiscriminately with little oversight.
This is why we have internal affairs. We investigate ourselves and find we did nothing wrong. But a board created to listen to legitimate complaints from the community shouldn't have any power over how we operate. When the CPRB was first formed, I thought it would just be several community members complimenting our work while I took a nap in my seat for a few hours. I often speak of balance and neutrality, but what I really mean is don't question us too much. I ask for community input, but only from the parts of the community that already agree with me. I warn of advocacy because caring about civil rights and accountability is a radical act. And of course, let's not forget my own words in those internal emails to the city. Peaceful protest is not defined solely by the absence of violence. It also requires adherence to the law. In other words, a protest is only peaceful when it's convenient for us. The moment you criticize, cover your face, or raise your voice against injustice, it transforms from a peaceful protest to a violent riot. Because in my mind, peace isn't the absence of violence. It's the presence of obedience and subservience to law enforcement. And if you let too many voices in, voices from people who've actually experienced police misconduct or who question the way we use force, well, that's just too biased. Those people clearly have an agenda. They want to live without fear of the government tracking their every move and creating large dossiers of their political beliefs, workplaces, hobbies, families, and friends. I like to say that the board's credibility depends on neutrality, by which I mean compliance. I like to say I value community input, but only if it's filtered through me first. And when I talk about going forward together, what I really mean is forward as long as I'm the one leading, and together as long as nobody challenges my authority. Thank you, everyone. You've been a great audience. I have been Magnifico, the mind reader.
Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Laricata. I am a concerned community member and resident of Modesto, and I am once again asking City Manager Joe Lopez and the City Council to move forward with adding the unconstitutional mask ordinance to the next available agenda for a vote to repeal it immediately. In spite of 4 months of input from directly impacted community members, First Amendment experts, and organizations championing equity and justice, in addition to the long-awaited recommendation from the CPRB that many of you said on record was required for considering a repeal, you all still choose to drag your feet and remain passive on an urgent issue that has threatened and continue to threaten our constitutional rights. The continued lack of action on this ordinance is not only disgraceful, it is bewildering at this point. I want to be very clear, simply because people in power do not like hearing the truth of our perspectives and experiences as community members does not negate that we are from the community. The diminishing of our voices and attempts to imply that we are outsiders to this community are offensive and blatantly false, and honestly starting to come off like viewpoint discrimination, which is why many of us are fighting this ordinance to begin with. Moreover, simply because people in power do not like hearing what we have to say does not negate the truth of what we are saying. This ordinance is unconstitutional, period. No amount of bureaucratic derailment via completely unnecessary survey questions and no amount of deference to the police chief's unchecked bias will change the fact that this ordinance violates the Constitution and serves as a weapon for MPD to discriminate, profile, and surveil marginalized people. The police are not policymakers, and no trustworthy legislative body should so closely fraternize with the police at the expense of listening to the needs and concerns of civilians in this community who have been pushed into the margins of society by institutional overreach and repression. Since our attempts to appeal to your conscience have been ineffective, I want to close by emphasizing that for the past 4 months, we have given you ample opportunity to change course on this ordinance based on the legal ramifications raised by experts. Should the ACLU make good on its promise to take this matter to court, the city is guaranteed to lose hundreds of thousands of dollars over an issue that could have been resolved months ago without litigation. Wasting our time is one thing, and wasting taxpayer dollars is another. Again, this is hundreds of thousands of dollars we are talking about. The decision to lose taxpayer dollars that could be better spent on solving problems like our city's homelessness crisis is entirely in your hands as government officials. Choose wisely. Agenda item repeal Modesto Municipal Code 4-23.02A subsection 13 as soon as possible. Thank you.
Is there anyone else under public comment for items not on the agenda?
Good evening, City Council. My name is Efren Diaz, and I'm an organizer with CV BIPOC. I was part of the planning committee for the ISAP protest that occurred on June 14th, where Modesto PD violently intimidated, arrested, and violated the constitutional rights of Modesto citizens. Our protesters arrested were cited under Modesto Municipal Code 4-23.02, subsection 13, which criminalizes wearing a mask or face covering during public assemblies. This local ordinance, while initially passed as a public safety measure, has been weaponized by law enforcement to suppress free speech and marginalized voices. MPD selectively enforces this ordinance, and on June 14th, it chose to enforce it against the ISAP protest, largely composed of young people of color, while taking no such action against the No Kings protest, which consisted primarily of an older white demographic. Both the ACLU and FAC have given this council the deadline of October 23rd to give an update on where you all stand on this issue. We ask all of you to save thousands of taxpayer dollars in a drawn-out legal battle that you will lose, and to vote on a full repeal of Modesto Code 4-23.02, subsection 13. Also, solidarity to the health workers and doctors who have come out and are advocating for an improvement of working conditions at Golden Valley. Healthcare should be a human right, not a privilege that only a few can afford at the expense of sleep deprivation.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Hi there.
My name is Nora. I am a resident of Modesto, and I'm here again to express my disappointment when I read the Modesto Bee article detailing how council and city manager continue to delay acting on the Modesto Community Police Review Board's recommendation to repeal Modesto City Ordinance 4-23.02. 4 months. You have heard community concerns regarding this ordinance, although the feedback has perhaps not come from the section of the community that you care about. And for months, you have continued to move the goalpost to avoid voting on it. First, MPD had to present us their report on the June protests, verifying that they selectively targeted certain individuals, not because of the masks that they wore, but because of their organization within the community. The mask was, of course, an excuse. Then the CPRB had to make a recommendation. They almost unanimously voted and concluded that the ban should be removed. Now we have to wait while MPD and council recruits people who support the ordinance to hear both sides of the argument. But the truth is that different opinions won't have an impact. They won't have the impact that you think they will when the issue at hand is a constitutional matter. And with a deadline for legal challenges now set, all this council is doing is wasting resources to appease a group of people who are so terrified of dissenting public speech that they see every person with a mask and a sign as a threat of violence. The people who have brought these concerns to your attention aren't expressing an opinion. They are telling you a fact that the ordinance is vague and impossible to enforce in a way that does not discriminate against people, and no amount of surveys or pearl clutching from your favorite affluent constituents will change that. This council's refusal to act in opposition to MPD will cost Modesto taxpayer money that can be used towards warming centers in the upcoming winter, youth resources, and community aid programs. Resources can go towards housing, financial stability, road improvements, all of which increase public safety a hell of a lot more than giving a group of overly armed, overcompensating officers another reason to profile and target people that they don't agree with. Thank you.
You're welcome. Right. Anyone else under public comment for items not on the agenda?
Good evening, Council. My name is Madison Condit. I don't have anything written out tonight, but I do have to come up here now that you guys are finally starting to make some small responses. And the thing that bothers me the most is that at this point, you guys are saying that you don't have enough community input. Makes me feel like us coming to the Community Police Review Board meetings on days that, luckily I have Tuesdays and Wednesdays off. Most people that are coming here after work. And today, I think a handful of people have come up here in support of the mask ordinance, even though the local Facebook groups have 200 plus comments. supporting the mask ordinance. Where are they at? Why? We're the ones showing up because we really do care, and we saw people get arrested, and that was really scary. And as far as I know, that was the first time that since 2019, since it was passed, that that MPD actually enforced it. I had zero idea. How is anybody supposed to have any idea? First, they didn't include it in their Facebook post, and then they were just yelling it out from their car. What about people who arrived late? I mean, seriously, like, what if I arrived 20 minutes late and I joined the group and I was wearing a mask and I didn't know and I get arrested? No questions asked. Like, that is so it's insanely embarrassing. I'm a resident. We're residents. We live here. Just because people don't own businesses doesn't mean their opinions aren't valid. Like, it's just so frustrating. I don't want to be here. We don't want to be here. We want to be able to protest. And, like, we weren't even protesting against you guys or the city. It's a bigger issue. And so it's just so frustrating. And, I just really urge you guys to do the right thing and really just try to understand, like, we're just trying to protest and we're not trying to commit crimes. And if we commit a crime, well, arrest us then. Like, you can add the we're wearing a mask while we're committing a crime, so that's an extra charge. So just do it that way then. It's just an excuse. They have a lot of power. They have $100 million, over $100 million in their annual budget. So really, you don't think that if someone commits a crime that they don't have the resources to deal with that? Trust me, guys, police have the resources. They can deal with it. Trust me. Thank you.
Welcome. Good evening. I think you all know me. My name's Darlene Ruiz. I'm here in support of repealing the mask. I have protested for 3 years in this city. We all wore masks. Nobody ever came and bothered us or arrested us. Was it because the police killed my son? So they didn't bother us? Is that why? Because nobody ever came to us and all of us wore masks. And now it's an issue? Do you pick and choose when it's an issue? Because there was groups of us, all of us in masks. Nobody did anything to us. Nobody ever came to us. I didn't even know it was an ordinance here. I feel like the city's setting themselves up for lawsuits. You're not going to be able to hold. No court's going to find anybody guilty of it. So why don't we just drop it? If you wear a mask or not doesn't mean you're safe or not. It doesn't make the city unsafe if somebody wears a mask. We have a right to protest what we feel is right in the city. And it's wrong that we've been coming to you guys for 4 months and nobody has done anything. We have a community police review board that you gave us that we depended on, and now they give you the recommendations and still nothing's happening. Stand up for the people, not the police. Stand up for the people. We depend on all of you, so do what's right.
Kevin McClarty, District 1. Well, I've listened to everybody for quite a long time. I've been to a lot of meetings and just listened. And I'm kind of looking at this logically, and I'm thinking, well, okay. You've got somebody wearing a mask at a protest. And the concern is for officer safety, that they want to know who that person is because there's a concern for officer safety. That person might be a felon. That person might be a wanted murderer. That person might be the person who robbed a bank down the street yesterday. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, is somebody who robbed a bank yesterday or who committed a murder on Jones Street or mugged grandma in front of the church, is that person going to go to a protest and wear a mask? I don't think so. No. The law that you're concerned about is an immigration law. Is this person violating an immigration law? And the last time I looked, MPD is not supposed to be enforcing immigration laws. So MPD is not supposed to be concerned about an immigration law. And so, really, officer safety is not really as much of an issue as you would think in that scenario. Because more than likely, a person who committed a felony is not going to go to any kind of a public event where there are officers, because there's a chance that their mask might fall off their face, there's a chance someone might knock it off and the officers will recognize them. There's a chance that they might trip and the mask will fall off, and they know that, and so they're not going to go to any kind of public event involving officers at all anyway. And the other suggestion that I would like to make, I want to suggest that at the next public meeting, that you show the video of that protest and show the video of those arrests being made. You say that you're not having enough public input. That will bring public input to you. You will have public input, and I also suggest that for that meeting, that you allow the people on Zoom to comment. You will get plenty of public comment from that. Show the video of that protest at which the people were being arrested. I haven't seen it. I have not seen it myself. I was not there. I would like to see what happened myself. I want to see it with my own eyes. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other comments at this time?
Mayor, City Council, Attorney, City Manager. Want to give you an update from September 27th, which was Lowrider Holiday that the mayor so kindly and the city clerk, Diane Perez, allowed us to have the proclamation from the city of Modesto. September 27th was a very successful Lowrider Holiday celebration. Family units came out, fathers, mothers, children, good turnout of cars. Thank you, Councilman Alvarez, for coming and attending, and same with Councilman Williams. We understood that a lot of you were learning how to be firefighters that day, so we didn't expect everybody to be present during that time. So we're very grateful and appreciative for everybody involved. I'd like to thank the police department with the police chief and the assistant chief for being participants. I'd like to thank the Fire Chief Kevin Weiss also with the fire department being involved, along with other members with Modesto Police Department. Art Silva with the Modesto PD volunteers. They did a great, outstanding job being present and assisting with traffic control and parking for cars. I'm very grateful for that, along with Motown Classic Car Club, which helps out with the graffiti. They were there present to help out with the cars parking there also. I also like to bring an update about, Tina and Betty had mentioned about the Modesto High School Police Car Project. That is moving along very rapidly. We're gonna hopefully have all the airbags installed before December 2nd, so we could take it to MJC for a presentation with the other high schools that are be present for their event that they're gonna do there. Also tomorrow will be Channel 13 News will be there doing some interviews with some of the students. So I'm hoping that they're going to be comfortable enough to say a few words about their experience and what they're doing. And it's very fulfilling to see these kids really get involved. We started out with 6 students. Now it jumped up to 9 students to be involved with this, which is 8 boys and 1 girl. And they're not afraid to get their hands dirty and have to learn new things. So it's a very fulfilling thing, and we'd like to thank everybody that's involved. And thank you very much, Councilman Ricky, for being the biggest supporter, and also Alvarez, Councilman Alvarez, for helping us with this too. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, any other comments for items not on the agenda? All right, Next on the agenda is consent items. An item may be removed from consent and discussed at the request of a member of the public or council member. Is there anyone on the council that would like a consent item removed for further discussion? I'm seeing none. Is there anyone in the public that would like an item removed from consent for further discussion or comment? All right, please let us know.
23 for item 23 for questions.
Okay. Thank you very much. At this time, we will take a 5-minute break and resume at 7:45. Thank you very much. All right. We will resume. Will the city clerk please read the consent items?
Yes, Mayor. Item 12, consider approving the minutes for the September 23rd, 2025 council meeting. Item 13, consider approving the recommended budget adjustments to fiscal year 2025-2026 annual operating and CIP budgets. Item 14, consider approving annexation map number 2, City of Modesto Community Facilities District number 2024-1, and authorizing the levy of special taxes on approximately 19.95 acres of property located within the annexation map boundary. Item 15, consider approving a first amendment to the memorandum of agreement between the County of Stanislaus Community Services Agency and the City of Modesto to increase the funding amount by $342,626 from $1,775,077 to a new total award of $2,117,703 for the operations of the permanent support and housing units to be passed to the Modesto Home Key LP in an amended grant agreement located at 710 North 9th Street, Modesto, California. Item 16, consider approving an agreement between the City of Modesto and Modesto Hospitality LLC to operate the Modesto Center Plaza through December 31st, 2026, and continuing thereafter until terminated by one of the parties. Item 17, consider approving a first amendment to the agreement with Mark Thomas and Company Incorporated for additional tasks related to construction documentation and bidding and construction support for the Tuolumne River Regional Park Riverwalk Trail Gateway to Nice project for a new total amount not to exceed $364,941. Item 18, consider approving a Fifth Amendment to the Joint Powers Agreement between the City of Modesto and the County of Stanislaus for acquisition, development, and operation of the Tuolumne River Regional Park. Item 19, consider accepting the Tuolumne River Regional Park Pavilion and Learning Theater project as complete, releasing securities, releasing payments totaling $550,754 to Westlake Landscape and Concrete Incorporated out of Newman, California, and authorizing the city clerk to file a notice of completion. Item 20, consider accepting the monthly investment report for July 2025. Item 21, consider accepting an informational report for the July and August 2025 grant applications and awards. Item 22, consider accepting an informational report for the August 2025 accounts payable payment register and void report. Item 23 was removed from consent. Item 24, consider authorizing the Director of Finance to adjust agreement totals between the Administrative Investigative Services agreements based on consultant availability and department's need, ensuring the combined total does not exceed $500,000 over remaining terms of the agreement. Item 25, consider ratifying the approval of an additional agreement with Halcyon Communications Group, Turlock, California, for the purchase of a Cisco Secure Network Firewall 3105 and GFW to replace the City Hall firewall and ensure strong security across the city's infrastructure for a new total amount not to exceed $196,324. Item 26, consider approving the submission of a grant application to the United States Environmental Protection Agency Community Grants Program for the Grayson Water Infrastructure Improvements Project. Item 27, consider approving an engineering services agreement with West Jones Associates out of Sacramento, California for the preparation of the 2025 Joint Urban Water Management Plan and Water Conservation Plan update in the amount of $180,455 plus $18,046 in additional services if needed for an agreement total amount not to exceed $198,501 and entering into an associated cost share agreement with the Modesto Irrigation District.
All right. May I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
So moved.
All
Second.
Right. I have a motion from Councilmember Wright and a second from Councilmember Alvarez. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Wright?
Aye.
Councilmember Scutia Brayton?
Aye.
Councilmember Alvarez?
Aye.
Councilmember Ricky?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bavaro?
Aye.
And Mayor Zwalin.
Aye. Carries unanimously. We will go to item 23. Consider approving the purchase for 32 fleet replacements, which includes 27 Ford Interceptors for the Modesto Police Department and 5 Chevy Tahoes for MPD and Modesto Fire Department in a total amount not to exceed $2,319,595. And we will have a staff report.
Good evening, Deanna Christensen, Director of Finance. This item, as the mayor mentioned, is for 32 fleet replacements, 27 incorporating Ford Interceptors for Modesto Police Department, and then 5 Chevy Tahoes, 3 of them for the Modesto Fire Department. and then 2 of them for the Modesto Police Department. So for these specific purchases, we utilize the state of California bidding process that was recently done. They again go through a competitive process, incorporate the economies of scale to get the best price possible. Based on the results of that bid, we have one opportunity to place an order bank for the purchase and delivery for next year. If we do not place the order within that short time window, then we would have to wait next year to place the order, and then again, it's still a year out until the delivery occurs. As part of the agenda packet, we included an attachment 10 that captures the current state of the existing vehicles. So again, the 32 vehicles that are being requested to purchase, the existing vehicles have all reached their service life. So again, we have vehicles going back from 2015 through 2020. The current repair costs that we're incurring to maintain these vehicles in service is actually already close to exceeding the original price of the original vehicle. So again, it's very important that we have vehicles that are available in service that again can provide the service needed for our community. And again, that is captured as an attachment 10, and then for the Chevy Tahoes, it's captured as part of the agenda report. And I'm more than happy to answer any questions.
All right, thank you. Do council members have any questions of staff regarding this item number 23? Seeing none, I'll open this up to the public.
Yes, Mayor, so basically, what I'm wondering about this bidding process is, were local Chevrolet dealers involved in this bidding? And I don't understand why the bidding process was not just from among local Chevrolet dealers here in Stanislaus County to keep it all local, and why a Sacramento dealership got involved in it. I mean, we're always preaching how we're trying to keep everything local, how we're trying to keep businesses local, how we're trying to support local businesses, and yet here we are buying, you know, $300,000 worth of Chevys from an outside dealership, and that maybe I don't understand the bidding process, but that's one question. Then the other question is, I'm wondering how that particular brand was selected. A Chevy Tahoe. I mean, are foreign manufacturers ever considered? And the reason I'm asking that is because it's well known that Toyotas are probably of much better quality than Chevrolets. They require a lot less maintenance, a lot less expensive to maintain. I'm wondering if there was any, you know, leaning in that direction at all, or are we still 100% American only in terms of purchasing equipment for emergency vehicles, or are we open to the idea of purchasing Japanese vehicles if they're of better quality? So those are my two questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Would you please respond to those?
So I'm going to do this jointly with our Public Works Senior Manager on the second question, but I can address the first question. So the state of California bids that were conducted, there were no local vendors that submitted bids. But again, this discussion has come up before in regards to, again, the efforts that, again, Modesto can do to encourage our local vendors to participate. So we have incorporated something on our website, as well as reaching out to our local vendors to engage and make them aware of how they can participate in these cooperative agreements. So again, they can be notified when these national bids go out. So that way, again, they can participate. So again, we have been doing a lot of efforts to share that information and communicate it to obviously enhance the business for our local vendors. So that is a step that we've encouraged going forward. And the other thing that we also did was that we did look at comparable pricing that's available currently in place with the local vendors, and again, comparing it with the pricing that we are receiving with the state of California bid, it is significantly less. So we did that effort as well. And I'll turn it over to Patrick Colley on the brand, the specific brand.
Mayor and Council, Patrick Crowley, Senior Public Works Manager. So regarding the choice of vehicles, so these particular vehicles, it depends on how the funding is, whether we have Buy America Only clause or not. The other thing is that we have gone through experience in having the vehicles that service the needs. So like the patrol units are Ford Explorers. Why? Because they're more maneuverable and they handle better than other types of vehicles. These, both the Chevy Tahoes as well as the Ford Explorers are special manufactured vehicles for law enforcement, pursuit rated. They have different safety features for the officers and the firefighters. They have different engines, they have different brakes, and so not that we're not open to it. The other thing that we look for is standardizing our fleet where possible for maintaining the parts and inventory control, as well as the mechanics that service the vehicles to make sure that we're being as efficient as possible without restricting the market. So on those things, that's where the space and the maneuverability for the Tahoes, for the gears, for the people that use those type of vehicles, and then again for the Explorers because they're much more nimble. And again, they're like the Explorers rated for a 70-mile-an-hour rear-end crash, which is not available on the retail market. It's a special-made vehicle by the manufacturers for law enforcement.
Thank you. Our police chief has a comment also. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening. And Patrick did a really good job. I just wanted to add a couple things just to maybe clarify. But we talked about police packages. There's only a few different manufacturers that actually make all of the outfittings, the cages that go in the back of the cars and things like that. We call it the police package. And mostly those are made for cars that are pursuit rated. And those are cars that go through significant testing to make sure that they can withstand crashes and all different types of things. But it's when you're pursuit rated, there's only mostly American, I think all American made cars. There's no Toyota. Toyota does not manufacture any pursuit rated vehicles. And so that's typically why Ford, Dodge, those are the vehicles that most police agencies use for, because they've gone through that rigorous testing and have become pursuit rated through that. So, and as far as the Chevy Tahoes, we use those specifically for our canine units because they have their dogs in the back, they have a lot of canine gear, and that's why we use specifically the Tahoes for our canine unit. So happy to answer any questions.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Any other members of the public that would like to come up regarding this item? All right, seeing none, I will close public comments. Any council member comments? Seeing none, I have a resolution approving the competitive bidding process from State of California to Folsom Lake Ford, Folsom, California for the purchase of 27 Ford Interceptors for an amount not to exceed $1,687,144 and authorizing the Director of Finance or her designee to issue the purchase order and authorizing the Director of Finance or her designee to execute any change orders not to exceed 15% of the total purchase price. A resolution approving the competitive bidding process from State of California to Winner Chevrolet, Sacramento, California for the purchase of 5 Chevy Tahoes for an amount not to exceed $329,894 and authorizing the Director of Finance or her designee to issue the purchase order and authorizing the Director of Finance or her designee to execute any change orders not to exceed 15% of the total purchase price. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Wright, seconded by Councilmember Williams.
Yes.
Will the clerk please call the roll for this item 23?
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Wright.
Aye.
Councilmember Gutierrez-Brayton.
Aye.
Councilmember Alvarez.
Aye.
Councilmember Ricky.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bavaro.
Aye.
And Mayor Zwellen.
Aye. Carries unanimously. Thank you. Next on the agenda is council comments and reports. Do any council members have any comments? Vice Mayor Bavaro.
Thank you, Mayor. Last Sunday, Lakewood neighborhood had their first Nula Palooza event, where in the neighborhood, we had 10 or 11 families that hosted bands and music from punk rock to regular rock to country western, all types of different music from 2 to 5. And in my eyes, it was quite a success. The first time they pulled it off, and there were no issues. And Lakewood's a pretty active neighborhood as it is, and the neighbors that came out after the 2 to 5 different bands playing at different homes, they had a big party over at the Lakewood Park. So hopefully this will continue. I know a lot of people enjoyed themselves. It was great food. I think we had 11 vendors, so it was a pretty cool event. So I just wanted to report on that since that's my neighborhood. And if I didn't, I'm sure I'd be hearing about it.
All right. Councilmember Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. As already been spoken earlier by my colleague about Fire Ops 101, I want to thank the chief for putting that together, where there were elected officials all over the county that had the opportunity to enlist in I think it was supposed to be a 5-hour, but it turned out to be an 8-hour, but it was well worth it in the training of allowing us to go through all of the motions with all of the gear that our firefighters would normally put on. And of course, we had our very own Sonia, who was recording this information and this. Did I do well, Sonia? Okay, thumbs up. Thank you. We were in a firebox where we would actually see fire above our heads for 20 minutes. I tried to get them down to 12, but after all, 20 minutes wasn't so bad. I want to at least save some of this for my colleague, Rosa Scooty Brayton, who was there as well. It was informative. Someone asked me, did you have fun? I said, no, it wasn't a fun thing. It was an enlightenment thing. Just understanding what all of those firefighters have to go through, understanding the science of fire and how fire moves and how fire is created and then how fire is put out. There was a lot of learning there. I was fortunate enough to be able to go through that. It was rigorous. We did have a chainsaw to where we were cutting into a roof, and they had one of those electric saws to cut a garage door across to open up but it was real, but it was an appreciation to understand what they go through day in and day out at a moment's notice. At a moment's notice. They could be thinking about their children, their wives, or whatever in the house. All of a sudden, the alarm goes off, and no telling what they have to do. But what they do it with everything that is within them. And I appreciate the firefighters of Modesto and the surrounding areas. And thank you, Chief, for putting that together. We did receive a certificate, and we actually got a T-shirt. So you can always say now we've been there, done that, and got the T-shirt. So thank you for allowing us to be a part of that. Saturday I was at the Over the Edge with Learning Quest. Learning Quest is just right around the corner from us, actually across the street. It's where they help individuals get GEDs, so help individuals to learn how to read, no matter what age, tutoring. It's a very wonderful organization. It's been around 30 years. They were raising money to continue those services. They were very successful in raising about $117,000 with 97 individuals going over 1524 McHenry Avenue, the Black Building. So my son and I had the opportunity together to rappel down to the bottom safely. He almost flipped over because he was trying to race me, but I was doing the old man thing, taking my time. But it was a good opportunity to support and raise money for that. Lastly, Mayor, I do want to do a moment of silence, have a moment of silence for a colleague, a friend, a former elected official. Luis Molina passed away last week, and he will be missed. And it was a lot to do with his lungs, as they were speaking about breathing and all that earlier today with the proclamation, and just thinking about him and his wife, Griselda, who is going to be very, very devastated for a very, very long time. The service will be in Patterson on the 28th at 10 o'clock at 505 M Street, Patterson, California, 10 o'clock. This is the actual funeral service. There is a viewing the day before, but the 28th, 10 a.m. In Patterson. And now, Mayor, would love to have a moment of silence for him and his life.
Right.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. Next is Councilmember Ricky.
Thanks, Mayor. It's not news to anybody that Modesto has some challenges when it comes to traffic safety, as we have some of the worst stats in the state. But we're working on it. So I really want to thank MPD for getting a $485,000 traffic enforcement grant. This grant will support focused efforts on distracted driving, speeding, DUI, and red light violations, and that'll keep our streets safer. We need more of that. I'm also excited, like all of us, to welcome Pioneer League to Modesto and help support our new baseball team, and Cost Less Foods' quest for a new team name. I've heard some great suggestions like the Modesto Force, the Classics, the Cruisers, the Hydras, the Pharaohs. Also some really bad ones like the Modesto Neuters. Anyway, you can join in on the fun at ModestoBaseballClub.com. Put your name in there. I think people will really appreciate it. Finally, Stanislaus Animal Services is working on their strategic plan. And it's critical that the public and the rest of us send SASA the clear message that what you're doing right now is outrageous and unacceptable. You must take responsibility for the challenges our county has with cats. You don't get to ignore TNR because you don't want to deal with it. You don't get to turn away volunteer agencies who help adopt animals because it isn't convenient to the bureaucracy. You don't get to force people to have appointments to drop off dogs and cats and then make those appointments possible to get. This agency is just so incredibly broken, and it shows zero interest in improving itself. And let me be even more clear to SASA. This community does not agree with your capacity of care strategy. It's pure failure. And we need change, and we need it now. Thanks, Mayor.
Councilmember Alvarez.
Thank you, Mayor. On a lighter note, I want to give kudos to the Modesto Blight Mitigation Team. There's a variety throughout the week and months, throughout the weeks and month, that I get escalations from constituents regarding homeless, piles of debris, blight, just left over from transient folks who unfortunately leave their trash behind. And so I just want to give a shout out to that team who's very nimble and very responsive. And then also want to give another shout out to and kudos to the Public Works Department. There's been a variety of pothole escalations that come to my office as well, and they are really swift in mitigating and taking care of those issues regarding potholes. So shout out to Bill Sandu, Director of Public Works, and his team. And in the bucket of events, we have this coming Thursday, October 16th at 3 p.m., the groundbreaking ceremony for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Park renovation. We're kicking off this new exciting chapter for this community space with major renovations designed to enhance recreation, beauty, and connection for generations to come. And then South Modesto Businesses United also is hosting an event, their 14th annual gala dinner on Saturday, October 24th, a little ways out, at Papa Poloni Mediterranean Bistro. That event will support a special cause this year, so all proceeds from that event will go to bringing joy to children in our community in the south side of Modesto by providing toys and gifts during Christmas time. So those are a couple of events that I'll be attending along with some of my colleagues, and some props to a couple of departments. Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. Councilmember Scooby Brayton.
Thank you, Mayor. I as well would like to publicly state my condolences for the Molina family with the loss of Luis Molina. He was a beloved leader and community member, and his loss definitely will be felt, and may he rest in peace. As Councilmember Williams indicated, I did also participate in the fire ops, which was an amazing opportunity, and I won't go into the level of detail that was already shared, but it goes to say that you do not really know until you walk in someone's shoes what they experience. And what I mean, we're very well-informed individuals on this dais, but I did not know the level of just courage and strength, both emotional and physical, that is required to do the work, the daily work of a firefighter. It was hardcore, mind over matter type of experience. I'm glad I went through it. And it brought me more respect to the work that the firefighters do on a daily basis, and the courage it takes to, even though you're tired, even though whatever's going through your mind in your life, you getting to work means running into a burning building to rescue the life of someone. And it's pretty amazing what they do, and I respect them even more so today because I just got an inkling of what it's like to be a firefighter. So thank you for the service of all the firefighters. Oh, just quickly, Mayor, I'm sorry.
Sure, no, go right ahead.
I and the mayor and some of my council colleagues attended the Long Beach League of California League of Cities annual conference in Long Beach this past week, and that was an amazing opportunity to coordinate with other local officials throughout California. What we do is very cyclical in various municipalities, so we learn from each other, and that is the one opportunity we get to do that. And the one thing that was so wonderful about this particular event is Modesto really is a first implementer in many things. Despite the fact that we did not get any Helen Putnam Awards this year, we got 3 last year, not to recollect, but indeed that was the case. We didn't get any this year, but our city manager was asked to speak to the audience about the success we had with Measure H. So he was able to articulate our successes, how we did it in collaboration with the community and various stakeholder groups. And I saw a lot of people taking notes, and I saw a lot of people listening. So they were there to hear firsthand how Modesto made things happen for the benefit of the community. So that's wonderful to be in that position. So thank you, City Manager, for representing us so well in that workshop. And we had a little fun as well. So yeah, that was it. Thank you.
All right, back to Councilmember Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that Luis Molina was a mayor of Patterson for many years, and also was on the Stanislaus County School Board for many years. And he worked tirelessly to help his community and everything that was around him to shine. So again, my condolences to the family.
Thank you. On September 9th, some of us were at the downtown Modesto muralist reception. So our beautiful murals, there's at least 5 new recent ones. It's incredible. Take the time to look at them. And if you're ever aware, next time when they do this during that week, the artists are really great conversationalists, and appreciate even anyone that stops by to talk to them, which I do on every opportunity. Saturday, October 4th, I spoke at the Modesto Out of Darkness Walk, and this is a suicide prevention and awareness walk with hundreds, if not thousands, of people. that show up that have been affected by suicide. And it's very heartwarming. It's a very positive, uplifting event. And I'm honored every year to be invited to speak and to participate with our residents that are struggling. As was mentioned, the League of California Cities Conference occurred, and I thought I would share with you some of the learning that I participated in. I attended a session on AI, artificial intelligence, by a brilliant genius that has worked in aeronautical engineering. She was incredible to share with us. I learned from her. I attended a session on addressing the erosion of trust in local government. One on how cities are centralizing communication to boost community engagement. Another session on creativity that was very motivational, and also attended the How to Pass a Local Sales Tax Measure in Today's Political Environment that, as was mentioned, our city manager, Joe Lopez, presented very successfully. The room was quite full, and people were very interested in this, so a lot of cities are obviously considering doing the same thing in their cities. And we did enjoy a few receptions where we were able to visit with each other and enjoy conversation and snacks and just have a good time for one evening also. So that's my report at this time. Next is the city manager. Do you have any comments or reports? None at this time. Next is hearings. Item 28. A hearing to consider approving the application and issuance of a permit to operate as a non-emergency medical transport company to Quality Care Transportation in the City of Modesto. And we will have our report. Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor, City Manager, Vice Mayor, and Council. Kalani Souza, Lieutenant from the Modesto Police Department. I'm here to present on a non-emergency medical transport permit for a Quality Care Transportation Company operating out of Modesto, California. A little bit of background: the non-emergency medical transport permit process is outlined through the Municipal Code 3-9.01 to 3-9.20, and it outlines the requirements for companies wishing to operate a non-emergency medical transport within the City of Modesto. And it should be noted that these are for those that originate within the City of Modesto. Interested parties must submit an application, required documentation, and a filing fee of $1,000. The police department then conducts a thorough background investigation into the applicant as well as all of their employees who will be providing transport here in the City of Modesto. Quality Care Transport Company has completed and submitted their application. They've provided required documentation, and they have paid their $1,000 filing fee. The Modesto Police Department has reviewed and approved the application and conducted and concluded the background investigation, and no disqualifying issues were found. Currently, I apologize, there we go. Currently, there are 15 permitted ambulance companies approved to operate within the city limits. Attached are some photos of the vehicles that will be operating. On average, we have anywhere in the city from 16 to 18 at any given time. This just depends on business licensing, if they choose to renew their permits or what have you. But currently, we do have 15, and again, this is just for those that originate within the City of Modesto. This was presented to staff, and their recommendation was to approve the application and the issuance of a non-emergency medical transport permit to Quality Care Transportation Company. And with that, I would be happy to answer any questions.
All right, does council have any questions regarding item 28? Seeing none, I'll now open the public hearing. Are there any members of the public that would like to come forward regarding this item? Seeing none, I will close public comments. Any comments from council members? All right, I have a resolution approving the application and issuance of a permit to operate as a non-emergency medical transport company to Quality Care Transportation in the City of Modesto. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Councilmember Scudia Brayton. Second by Councilmember Alvarez. Will the clerk please call the roll for this item?
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Wright.
Aye.
Councilmember Scutia Brayton.
Aye.
Councilmember Alvarez.
Aye.
Councilmember Ricky.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bavaro. Aye. And Mayor Zwellen.
Aye, carries unanimously. Thank you very much for that report. Item 29, consider approving a memorandum of understanding between the City of Modesto and United Way for a partnership with Modesto Gospel Mission to provide outreach and employment support for individuals experiencing homelessness in an amount not to exceed $1,250,000 in alignment with the city's Camp to Home initiative. And we will have a staff report. Welcome.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council. Jessica Hill, Director of Community and Economic Development. So before I get started, I want to just state that this was a labor of love. I want to give a special shout out to our staff of the Community Development Division led by Edgar Garcia. He's worked very closely with the past 6 weeks with many organizations in the community to really find our next steps to help transition the Downtown Streets team to another organization. So before I get started, I want to thank Stanislaus Community Foundation, United Way, the Community System of Care, the Downtown Streets team, Center for Human Services, as well as many community members who are helping Modesto Gospel Mission now, who's going to take the reins with the special shout out to Modesto Gospel Mission of these next steps. So a little bit of background, the Downtown Streets team was founded in Palo Alto in 2005 with the growing need to support individuals experiencing homelessness. The program helped incentivize participants to beautify the community while giving basic needs stipends and case management support. The program over those years expanded to 16 communities, and the programs varied by community, but in Modesto, they help support litter abatement, job training and employment, rapid rehousing services, as well as case management. In 2018, the city embarked on a memorandum of understanding with the Stanislaus County, the Stanislaus Community Foundation, and the United Way to bring Downtown Streets team to Modesto with a new 25-member team for $450,000 for litter abatement. In 2022, the city was able to approve an expansion of the team from 25 members to 68 members due to the success we were seeing both in our community and with our homeless population. It was helping expand the services of job training litter abatement throughout the city and within our parks. Downtown Streets team were also then able to help assist individuals receive permanent housing. At that point, they were assisting with job training in $1.25 million and then housing assistance in $400,000. In 2025, we did enter in an agreement with Downtown Streets team for a 2-year period of time for $1 million through an earmark we had from the state of California. So through the Downtown Streets team, they've had an impact over the years. So through their time in Modesto, they've been able to help 183 individuals obtain housing, 113 participants receive employment, was able to assist with over 1,000 documents obtained, over 600 medical services provided, and over 500 well-being services provided as well. They've been able to serve over 937 team members since the inception of the program and able to abate over 2.6 million pounds of litter debris removed. Unfortunately, at the end of August, the Downtown Streets team announced their closure of all operations effective October 31st. They closed all 16 communities over exhausted efforts to help sustain the programs, but due to significant shifts in financial and political landscapes, they did decide to close all of those entities. So since that period of time, the city has worked very closely with Downtown Streets team and our community partners to help connect team members with resources, to help support them in their pursuit to access housing and employment resources. So during this period of time, the city staff engaged with key stakeholders to explore potential options and identified a partnership with United Way of Stanislaus, Modesto Gospel Mission, and donations through the Stanislaus Community Foundation as a viable solution. So in this proposed MOU, the United Way will hold the agreement with Modesto Gospel Mission to provide citywide litter abatement, graffiti removal, and case management for individuals experiencing homelessness. So kind of just a different overview, United Way will also serve as this fiscal agent to help arrange meetings with, on the fiscal standpoint, with potential donors and to secure other funding sources. They also now have a fundraising link and a text to donate campaign. The Modesto Gospel Mission will be that core to help carry out the activities of the agreement to include part-time employment for 68 individuals, which will rotate over for a 3 to 6 month period as individuals are able to be connected to permanent employment as well. So overall, MGM will assist with outreach and case management, blight abatement, as well as the reporting. Lastly, Stanislaus Community Foundation will support through private contributions to the program and will support with partner referrals for possible housing opportunities. So this is just another outline of our funders and partners. Again, the United Way of Stanislaus County with that sustainability planning and partnerships and fundraising. Stanislaus Community Foundation with their private partner contributions, they've already been able to secure a contribution of $150,000. And then we will continue to work with Stanislaus County to establish potential partnerships for future funding. So in this agreement, there will be two case managers, one program manager, and a driver. And so as part of the model that's actually shifted a bit is the program we're going to move away from stipends to actually paid employment. And so the 68 individuals will receive minimum wage employment, but will still have also access to all of the case management and services that Modesto Gospel Mission has to offer as well. So for the program budget, the annual cost of the program is about $1.25 million. And for this first year, the city's identified our state earmark grant, which will be able to just allocate just over $1 million. Private contribution through Stanislaus Community Foundation of $150,000, and then our litter abatement fund for $50,000. During the course of this next year, we're working very closely with the county. We've already identified potential funding from BHRS and CSA, which they're HSTAP funding. We also have great resources with other potential funding. Some of them include a Clean California grant, a workforce development partnership, a CalFresh partnership, CalAIM, private donations, as well as other different funding opportunities that come up. So with that, following council approval, we anticipate a launch on November 1st. That would be able to connect all the former Downtown Streets team members to the Modesto Gospel Mission for services to begin, including the case management component and client support. We do anticipate after that the employment training will be able to start on January 1st. And so that's when we anticipate full litter abatement and graffiti removal to start, and then anticipate the program through this funding that we've identified today to continue throughout November of 2026. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right, Vice Mayor Bavaro.
Thank you, Mayor. Excuse me. You said, is this going to be like a 6-month program for the new employees?
So we will be able to serve 68 individuals, and we anticipate each of the 68 individuals will be a part of the job training or the part-time employment for 3 to 6 months as we connect them to other potential resources and then full-time employment.
Okay, so now they're part-time, so they're not going to be eligible for any health benefits. Is there any guidance in getting them to either Medi-Cal for their benefits or Covered California?
So part of the case management support will be connecting them to those healthcare providers as well as other resources.
And will there be a program for helping them with preparing resumes and perhaps role-playing interviews and going through an interview and then job placements?
Absolutely. So Modesto Gospel Mission will be the lead in that component as well. And so they'll have case managers who will be able to assist with those with the overall goal of getting that full-time employment.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Councilmember Scooby-Brayton.
Thank you. I have 4 questions. I'll ask them one at a time so you don't have to write them down. So in terms of the total budget for this program, how much funding does United Way expect to or anticipate to raise from the text to donate thing?
Yeah. So it's hard to say right now. I mean, this has kind of been a program that's put together in the last 6 to 7 weeks. And so we anticipate it to kind of ramp up over time and then be able to bring in other private donations. Right now, it's really hard to say what that dollar figure could be.
So it's not in a concept that it's been used in another program and they kind of have it like a, they could.
I'm not aware. I'm sorry.
Okay. Number 2 is, of the $1,250,000, what percent of this will go towards, if any, towards United Way administrative overhead?
Yes, so for the United Way administrative overhead, there will be a component there. Let me just get that for you. We anticipate approximately just over $50,000 that will go to the United Way overhead.
How much was that?
Just over $50,000.
And is that a percentage?
I believe it is. I could run that number for you quickly. It's about less than 5%, 4.2%.
Okay, that's not bad. Okay, so that so number 3, will there be will the program name stay the same or is it likely to change?
So I'm going to lean on Jason for this one because I think he will be announcing the program name. So I do anticipate there will be a new program.
Okay, fantastic. And my last question has to do with, you've talked about the various funding sources that leads up to the million and change. Will this funding approach, will the first year be looked at as a prototype and then we'll see what year 2 might look like? Or is this a funding approach that we are going to seek to replicate in the next year?
I think it's going to be part of both, actually. So we are using kind of one-time money this time for this year pilot. And so we're going to have to see what's working well and what's not working and kind of tweak the program if needed, and also secure other funding sources to help it for sustainability.
Okay, and will we enter into a yearly understanding with United Way, or has that been decided, or are we committing to an extended period of time?
So right now we're committing for a 1-year period of time, and then during this year is we'll continue to meet with the United Way, Stanislaus Community Foundation, County, as well as Modesto Gospel Mission to help secure other sources of funding as well.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, Councilmember Wright.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for your report, Jessica. A couple of questions I have. Number one, on the assignment of projects that need to be done in the city of Modesto. Will we have a project manager from the city that will coordinate with the gospel mission on a daily basis on where to go and what items need to be taken care of?
Yeah, so how it works now is we actually have our Public Works Department actually identify a monthly schedule of what streets that they would identify, and then similarly our Parks Department identifies a monthly schedule of what parks they will actually go out and do the litter abatement on, and so that will continue.
And on the vehicles to transport and pick up trash or whatever, will they be using any city vehicles or?
So at this time, they're not using city vehicles, but we're still looking at opportunities for either vehicle donations or vehicle options for transportation.
Well, maybe the park department, when they're getting their new trucks, maybe they can donate some of the old trucks to street team and stuff. And then also, will we keep the name Downtown Street Team, or are we able to keep that?
I think that Jason's going to be sharing a
And then one of my other questions would be, will be particular type of shirts or vests that will identify, Jason's going to talk to that too, and that's so important because people see those red or yellow shirts out there, they know that are Downtown Street Team, and I think that really helps the community know that we're really doing something to give people a hand up, not a handout, and getting them back into society and getting jobs and moving on to permanent housing. That's all the questions I have at this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Councilmember Ricky.
Thanks. What's the name going to be? Sorry.
It's not a big
No, I have one question. So one of the big pieces of Downtown Streets Team was the community that they made, and they had meetings, I don't know how often, monthly, weekly, something? Weekly. Is that a piece of this program?
We're looking to still encompass that sense of community with the future team, as well as having those weekly success meetings.
Thank you.
Councilmember Alvarez.
Thank you, Mayor. Now that it's going to be facilitated by the Gospel Mission, which inherently is a faith-based group, will they be accepting folks from all walks of life to participate, or exclude, or is there some of the?
So for this program, they are accepting people from the entire community who would be interested in pursuing this job training component.
All right, thank you.
All right, Councilmember Williams.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Jessica, for this presentation and your entire team, as well as Oscar, for all of the innovation of really probably sleepless nights and trying to make this happen. Edgar, did I say Oscar? Okay. That's his brother. That's his middle name. Edgar Oscar Garcia. But, and the entire team that are here tonight that worked tirelessly to make this happen for the city of Modesto. I don't know what the other cities are doing, the other 20 or 19 cities are doing, but I am really glad Modesto came to the table and said, how can we work this out? And then also another nonprofit organization like Modesto Gospel Mission. But my question is on the trash. I don't know. I never even thought about it until tonight. How is the trash being picked up? And are any of our trash companies working with us on that? Are they giving us any kind of breaks? Who can answer that question?
Yeah, so we've kind of done a hybrid approach in the past. And so what the Downtown Streets team has been able to do is they've actually identified where they would leave the bags. And then our Public Works Department would have to go pick those up and ensure that they were taken to the dump. And so we'll continue to look for more opportunities to streamline that moving forward.
The Public Works will continue to do that?
At this point, they will, yes.
Okay, and none of our haulers have stepped up to the plate and said that they would participate in this program?
But it's still a good one to approach.
Okay.
So, thank you.
All right, any other questions from council members? I will open this up to the public. Any members of the public that would like to come forward? I have two blue speaker cards, so I will call them first. First is Marin Pitt. Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Marin Pitt, and I'm a community member, but I'm the chairman of the Community System of Care. And so I'm here tonight because this is a unique opportunity to to find the silk ear in the sow's ear, or the silk purse in the sow's ear. That and most importantly is to gain local control, that we can control the program and morph it to what works for us. The Community System of Care, we have mapped our system, and part of our success is this very vibrant outreach and engagement that we have done over this last 3 or 4 years that includes that Downtown Streets team component to gain trust, to gain people's willingness to come in from the streets. And for the last 3 years, since we're the ones charged with doing the point in time count, we've had more folks sheltered than unsheltered. And I think that that's moving the needle in the right direction, as well as the fact that this last year we've seen our numbers drop a little bit while all of our neighboring counties continue to see massive increases. So it takes a 10-lane freeway of everybody doing their part, but everybody's pulling in the same direction with the same ideal of moving that needle and bringing folks in from the streets into not only shelter, but into a productive life. And this is a huge tool in our tool bag. And I'm just here to express our support for the funding and the MOU, and to thank all of you for your willingness to look at it a different way. And also the partnerships in the community with Gospel Mission, the city, Community Foundation, and others that all recognize the importance of us working together collaboratively to find solutions that work for our community. So thank you for that opportunity to express my thoughts.
Thank you for being here this evening. Next is Derek Castle.
Good evening, Mayor, Council members, City staff. Derek Castle, Park Avenue. This is really exciting. By the way, the new name, I've heard that they're going to be called the Cruisers.
Yes.
Okay, so sorry to jump the gun there, Jason. No, I really want to congratulate Jessica and Edgar and Heather and staff. They've done an amazing job of getting this all together. I really didn't think they'd be able to do it, honestly, in the short amount of time that they have. And one of the reasons was that I was aware that the Downtown Streets team model, their stipend volunteer kind of model was operating in a very murky, grey sort of area. And as far as I was concerned, I didn't think any organisation in Modesto would want to take on that sort of model. The only way I thought that it might work is if we went to a model of actually paying the folk for the work that they did. And but the problem with that, I thought, is, well, it's going to cost so much more that we're going to have to slash the numbers that are involved in the team. So I thought, that's not good either. But our wonderful Housing and Economic Development Department folk have come up with, I think, a wonderful workaround. What they've done is, instead of having the old downtown street model of volunteer stipend for, traditionally it was 20 hours a week, it's now going to be 10 hours a week of paid work. And by doing that, they're going to be able to still keep the 68 team members. I think that's just amazing. That's wonderful. Unfortunately, we're going to lose a little bit of the volunteer sort of aspect to it because people are going to be paid. But I'm hoping that those who are running it can really work hard at still keeping something of that volunteer spirit that has been there in Downtown Streets team. Because I think that's important, not in the community in general, but I think also for folk who've been experiencing homelessness, that to be able to be giving something is important. One of the things I like about it is that it's going to be having an outreach to unsheltered folk. And by that, I think the plan is to actually go out onto the streets and try and encourage folk who are sleeping on the streets to participate in the program. And I think if that's done, that will be a really helpful thing. So, but otherwise, I think it's a wonderful thing that's going to happen, and I really encourage you to approve this. And congratulations to everyone, and especially Jason, you've just done an amazing job at the Gospel Mission there. I have a lot of confidence that it's going to go well. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak under public comment for this item? Welcome.
Hey everybody, Harlan Diven. I'm just really excited about this. I'm excited about the development. I talked in my public comment earlier about all the good work that City Council is doing for unhoused folks in Modesto. And again, we are the seat of the county. It's very important that we set an example for the rest of the county here. And I think you're doing incredible work, so thank you.
You're welcome. All right.
Yes, I think it's very commendable that the city is coming up with something to replace the prior model of the Modesto Streets team and not just letting it die. But I do have a concern, and that is pertaining to the Modesto Gospel Mission. It's my understanding that to participate in the Modesto Gospel Mission, or to stay there more than a couple of days, a homeless person has to comply with the religious program that they have there. And if they don't, then they're kicked out. Well, I've run into some homeless people on the streets who told me, for whatever reason, they don't believe in that particular religious dogma that has been presented by Modesto Gospel Mission. That's their right. Not everybody is a Christian. Not everybody follows that religious sect, or that you know. Not everybody follows that particular religious model, and they have a right to eat too. And my concern is that the program could become discriminatory against people who are not Christian, maybe people who are Jewish, or maybe people who are Muslim, people who in clear conscience cannot say that they believe that Jesus Christ is their Savior and He died for them on the cross and all these other things. They don't believe in that. So what's going to happen to those people? And I also have an issue with the city government aligning itself with an entity that has a religious pretext as a precondition for participation in something. I think that, you know, on down the line, this could become an issue with the ACLU and some other entities. Because the government is supposed to be impartial. So I seriously would question this, and perhaps Jessica or somebody could answer, what is going to be the religious, or is there going to be a religious precondition for participation of these people? And if so, then what's going to happen to the people who do not believe in this particular dogma that has been presented? Are they just going to be tossed out? Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Jason, if you'd like to address what was mentioned.
Yes, so on the question of whether this is going to be just like the rest of the programs, that is not the case. So this is an employment reentry program, meaning there is no type of condition for entering in the program for what we're going to call Hope Works, basically. So we have the name. If you guys want to see it, I can pass this along. Just pass it all the way down. Don't steal my phone number. So this is what the program is. So there's no pre-position for somebody to have to set through a religious devotion or anything to enter this program. We hold multiple different programs, and our safe sleeping is conditioned on that. For our food security, we have a special program where somebody walks on our campus, we give them a sack lunch to go, no questions asked. So I think the days are done where we are mandating individuals for religious purposes in order to receive some of our services. Now, some of our services, we do have some requirements. We have a New Life program, but this will not be one. This is a re-entry into the workforce. It will be open to everybody in the community. We will have a monthly orientation, and that monthly orientation will onboard new clients. Those new clients will be onboarded with a third-party temp agency. That third-party temp agency will have the ability to hire them and to manage them and the liability of that. And we will oversee their case management, camp to home, and get these people employed and back onto the community and of Modesto. So that's kind of on that. So hopefully that answers some of your questions.
All right.
If I can just...
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, we can't. And you can speak, I'm sure, privately if you have further questions, but thank you for that clarification.
Any other questions?
I have a question.
All right, Councilmember Wright.
Thank you. Jason, will you be, by any chance, teaming up with the Salvation Army and their access center for maybe a client might be over there that would want to be part of your Hope Works program?
Yeah, it's our hope that the manager does a community outreach with Salvation Army and all types of agencies to figure out where everybody is, to tell them we're going to have orientations on like the first Tuesday of the month. Will be consistent so they can be able to go to that and have access to that.
So it's not only the people that are at Modesto Gospel Mission, but you're going to open it up to other shelters and avenues that we have here in Modesto.
Correct.
Thank you.
That makes me think of one other question. Mm-hmm. I was under the impression that the clients would still come from the Access Center and the D Street shelter, but it sounds like it's going to be open to
everybody,
anyone that is unhoused.
Yeah, as long
currently.
As yes, correct.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
All right, any other members of the public that would like to? Okay.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Megan Clifford. I work with Downtown Streets team, and I wanted to recognize Edgar and team and all of the council members who have been so supportive and engaging and really finding next steps for all of the team members to really find employment, placement, and beyond. And also wanted to give kudos to Jason and team. We're really excited to see that this is an opportunity for our team members to blossom. I think at Downtown Streets team, we really talk about the ABCs of employment, to get a job, a better job, and a career. And this is just that, right? I think at Downtown Streets team, we've had our volunteer model, and then most recently in 2023, we built in the transitional employment opportunity. And that's really what this is transitioning into, is the paid employment opportunity, and that's where we've really seen our team members blossom. And so when Edgar and team really brainstormed this idea, I'm so excited to see this get off the ground, and I think that it's exciting and it has my full support. And I also want to give a quick kudos to Monica, who is leading our efforts locally and has kind of joined in the storm during this, so I just wanted to give her recognition as well, as we're winding down operations, but really excited to see kind of DST launch into Hope Works. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other members of the public, feel free. Hi there.
Megan basically said it all, but I just wanted to come to you as a former council member, and having worked in government, I've never seen anything like this ever happen, where Edgar's calling people, Jason's calling people, we're all getting together. And it was about the people that were going to be let down if this thing didn't keep going. That was the real impetus of this. It wasn't about the money and about, what it's going to be called, that although that was a lot of the work. And I want to thank each one of you for creating that environment that lets your staff act that way. And Joe, thank you very much for allowing your staff to run, wild in a sense with an idea and come up with it that's really about the community. This makes me so proud to be a citizen of Modesto. And you guys, you get a lot of the other side of the coin, but this is one that you should really be very proud of. And the other thing is where's it going to go from here? Because if we keep doing these kinds of things, it's going to go into other areas, and our communities will be the best. And they're going to be coming from all over the place trying to figure out what the heck those people are doing in Modesto. So thank you.
What did you say your name was again, sir?
Thank you.
Billy Bob. I've been called a lot of things, and I can't say here. Brad.
Thank you.
Brad. Yeah.
Thank you. Any other members of the public that would like to speak regarding this item? Item 29. All right, seeing none, I will close public comments and ask council members for comments. Vice Mayor Bavaro.
Thank you, Mayor. On August 29th, Downtown Streets team really caught all of us off guard, closing all 16 of their locations in California on October 31st. I know the mayor and every one of the council members sitting here today have been involved with the Downtown Streets teams. We've talked to the volunteers, we've talked to the employees, and this was our Pride and Joy project, kind of a showcase on what we're doing in trying to take broken people and trying to bring them back to some normality. Within a short, 2 months, Edgar Garcia, who works for the city, his leadership and administrative skills in bringing this to the council tonight deserves recognition. Hell of a job, Edgar, and all of us appreciate you for doing that. But the streets team is more than just picking up trash or litter abatement or whatever you want to call it. The most important thing about this program is that it brings back self-pride. it brings back self-esteem, self-worth, and work ethic. And it's getting him back on track to get back into what we call normality and being a productive member of our society. They're not going to be CPAs or going back to law school, but they're going to be productive members in our society doing work that where they can take care of themselves and find permanent housing. I'm proud to be with the mayor and the city council on these type of programs. I mean, all of us are in lockstep with programs like the Downtown Street Team, now Hope Works, and it's just a real pleasure for me to have this association with you. And again, congratulations, Edgar, for putting this together. I know it's stressful, sleepless nights, but you pulled it off. Thank you.
All right, Councilmember Wright.
Thank you, Mayor. You know, when Downtown Street Team started, we knew it was a great program. And they've done it. Megan, you guys have done an excellent job with what you've done, starting this and getting it going. But what I'm excited about, we're going to go to the next level. There's always a next level. No matter what when you start something, you know, you start, you hit those bumps in the road and you figure things out. And then when you go to the next level, it actually becomes better. And Jason, I am so proud of you and your staff and what your board has realized, that we're here to help people. We're here to give them a hand up, not a handout, but a hand up. And that I'm looking forward to the next level, because I know that you're going to take the successes of the Downtown Street Team, you're going to grow on those, and the staff that you have is going to be there to help people with job resumes, getting their life back together, getting them full employment, and then into, you know, transitional housing and permanent housing. I'm really excited about this, and I hope down the road that we can find more financing, that instead of 10 hours a week is 20 hours a week, and we're adding more people onto the program, because this is a big win for Modesto, to have people out there. When our citizens see that we have a street team or Homeworks out there, new home, what was it? Hope Works. Hope Works. We have Hope Works out there, making our streets and our sidewalks and making sure graffiti's off the walls. That really, our citizens in this city get really excited. So they see that we're doing something to help people that really need help and need a hand up. So my hat's off to the Downtown Street Team for all the work you've done over the last 4 or 5 years, and my hat's off to you, Jason, for picking up the baton and moving it forward. And I'm looking forward to great things. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, Councilmember Ricky. Oh, sorry. Whoops. Councilmember Williams.
All right, I could be Oscar too. Thank you, Mayor. I wanted to start off by saying thank you to Megan as well, and for your leadership for getting us to this point to where it's even valuable enough to be able to go to the next level. And then I also want to thank Monica. Monica, I know it's been a little short-lived, but we appreciate your efforts in keeping it where it is to this point and now moving it to the next level with Modesto Gospel Mission. And there was a statement that was made just a minute ago about maybe perhaps those individuals may never be a CPA, and he wasn't making it a negative statement, but it sparked my attention and my memory of an individual who was in the Modesto Gospel Mission 20 years ago, and tonight that individual is sitting in our midst as the CEO of the Modesto Gospel Mission, and that's none other than Jason here, Conway. And I think that is an outstanding opportunity that others can now have, because they have something to look forward to. They have someone to look up to, and it's a reality that lives can be changed if you're around the right environment. And that's what he was a part of, the right environment. And the streets team, as it has been said, is an environment that is helping lift people from the areas that they are in. No matter how they got there, they can be lifted. And today we have a perfect example of an individual today, and that's Jason Conway, the CEO of the Modesto Gospel Mission, and I applaud him.
Councilmember Ricky.
Thanks, Mayor. This city just saved Downtown Streets team. And I'm so proud of you guys, and I'm so proud of our community for all coming together, and Edgar and Jessica and Heather, and you guys listen to everyone, you listen to us, and I think you've come up with a program that fixes the weaknesses that DST had, but also maintains their high standards. And you created this program in 60 days, which is quite impressive. I'm blown away, and I'm so thankful that you guys did this. And I know this community is thankful too. And I also want to thank the Stanislaus Community Foundation, Center for Human Services, Gospel Mission, United Way, people like Brad, people like Megan, are all coming together. Yes, this is how we do it. And Councilmember Wright is correct. This is next level. And I think the next level after this is how do we harness workforce development funds to really strengthen the funding of this program, because that's what we're doing. We're retraining people to do jobs, and there's money out there to do this. And I'm excited because we've hooked into something here, and I think we're on the right track.
Right. Councilmember Scooty-Brayton.
I'm nodding just because I agree with absolutely everything the council has said, and you could just feel the passion and the delight that we have just for where we're at today. So thank you and congratulations to everyone. I know that everyone had a role in getting us to this point, and as was said earlier, it was a work of love. To make things happen in government this fast and this efficient. It doesn't happen every day, but we made it happen because it was something that was heartfelt, as has been articulated by everyone. And this work is transformative, and it's going to help so many lives for the better. And I'm just absolutely honored to have just an inkling of to be part of that. So thank you for everyone who made this happen.
All right, Councilmember Alvarez.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to echo everything my colleagues had just said, and what former Councilmember Brad Hahn had mentioned. The other side of the coin is, not always this joyous and kudos being thrown around everywhere. But when you get a chance to change lives, that's what we do the work for. So I'm going to take this little ounce of joy and hope and nod my head to all the folks involved. And I think when you have synergy like we just witnessed over the past 60 days, it's rare, but I think that synergy could be tapped into and momentum can be built and put towards other efforts, as my colleague Councilmember Ricky just mentioned, in terms of workforce and this sort of project or program being transformative. Not just for the folks receiving the resources, but for folks who are at the decision-making tables and the folks that are actually executing and making things happen, like Jessica's team, Edgar, Heather, and everybody else. So again, I tip my hat to everybody, and it's always nice to be able to literally change lives. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, thank you. A couple of comments. As I look around the room, into everyone's faces that is still here this evening. This is Modesto. Every person here, Jason has dedicated his life to this community. Derek, how many meetings he has come and explained and shared. Megan, the Downtown Streets team is always my favorite place to be with the Downtown Streets team members. Jessica, Edgar, your team, thank you so much. Brad, your generosity is beyond what would ever be expected for how much you've given back to this community. Harlan is still here. She stayed. Appreciate that. Marin, Kevin, all of you, this is truly Modesto. When Joe called me, Joe Lopez, our city manager, to give me the news, it was in the very same sentence, but this will not go away. That Downtown Streets team was leaving, but this will not. It was evident from the very beginning, from the top, that this was we were going to find a way. So I really appreciate every single person in this room, and for you staying and for being with us on this effort. And I'm so proud, like Vice Mayor Bavaro said, to be a part of this council that knows the right thing to do for this. And hope works. I don't know who came up with that, but I am eternally hopeful. Whatever the topic is, that it does work, and it works to do a lot of improvement in our community. So thank you, everyone. I have two resolutions. We can vote on both of them together. So a resolution approving a memorandum of understanding between the City of Modesto and United Way for a partnership with Modesto Gospel Mission to provide outreach and employment support for individuals experiencing homelessness in an amount not to exceed $1,250,000, and authorizing the city manager to negotiate and execute the MOU. A resolution amending the fiscal year 2025-26 annual operating fund budgets to create a multi-year project in an amount not to exceed $1,250,000 to appropriate funds for the memorandum of understanding between City of Modesto and United Way, and authorizing the city manager or his designee to take the necessary steps to implement the provisions of this resolution. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
I'm not sure who said. A motion by Councilmember Alvarez.
Second, Wright.
Right.
Second by Councilmember Wright. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Wright.
Aye.
Councilmember Scutia-Brayton.
Aye.
Councilmember Alvarez.
Aye.
Councilmember Ricky.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bavaro.
Aye.
And Mayor Zwellen.
Aye. Carries unanimously. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all for doing all the work. Are there any matters too late for the agenda? Seeing none, I'm calling this meeting of the City Council to be adjourned.